upsets. Bravado finding themselves that first seat within the grand final, but now we're going to look forward into finding out who is going to be joining them. My name is Trey Saranthus. I'm feeling very festive. I've got my llama on, and you should get your llama on too, as well as my crew here, my esteemed colleagues, both Pimp and Bled. Guys, been a topsy-turvy tournament to say the least, but there's only one thing that's really making me smile right now, and that is going to be that lit up sweater. One might even say it's lit.
It is,
it's kind of lit, yeah.
Frankly, not too much, is it?
Yeah, I'd say it's just,
about right. You look really, really sad.
But I'm really, really happy.
Why?
No, hold it right there. Hold the phones and play the brackets. Let's take a look at how we got here to this point, because it's been a long road for some and a shorter road for others, as some have been birthed straight into the semifinals for their heroics on the first day, and necessarily wasn't the easiest for ENCE to get to this point today.
Yeah, but this particular matchup would be what most people would have been expecting, looking at the teams who were playing in this tournament. Obviously, the first semifinals, Bravado versus Existence, was the surprise to the tournament. Bravado now in the grand finals. That's huge for a team coming in from the open qualifiers, especially NA open qualifiers, to make it here. I think the only team who's made it that way has been, I think, Imperial in summer. And now you have ENCE, and of course you have Heroic. Heroic have looked, in my books, the best team so far in this entire tournament. And ENCE, shaky start, but ever since then, they've been looking very impressive as well.
Yeah, I mean, the only negative point we can bring up towards ENCE is the fact that they did lose the first game against G2. Yeah. But I just don't want to let people forget how that happened. They were leading 11-4, so they were actually playing some of the best game, and they were, could have closed that game out, in a quite comfortable fashion. They didn't though, and they ended up losing to a KNS, who all of a sudden went off, which is sort of like an outlier right now from G2. You don't expect that level of play to come all the time. So I would say, yeah, Heroic has been the best playing team so far, but ENCE is not far away from that.
And, well, we're not far away from them. In fact, we're already there. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the vetoes as they start to unfold again. This is a best of 3 to determine who the next grand finalist is here at this semi-final of the DreamHack Open. Now, guys, if we start to compare map pools here between Heroic and ENCE, are there anything that sticks out to you guys?
I personally think this is going to be a very standard map, map ban process coming in here, right? Heroic is going to go for the cash ban. It's a map that ENCE bans as well, but they have done a surprise pick on cash earlier in the past against Optic, so they're going to go for the cash ban here. I think ENCE is going to ban out Inferno. Heroic should pick Train. They are really, really, really good on it. I think the best team on Train in this tournament at the very least. And then I see ENCE going for a nuke pick here, and the final decider might be Mirage. So I'm thinking Train, nuke, Mirage. Your thoughts?
The fun thing is, with those maps, I could see it go the other way around in terms of it could have been Heroic who picked nuke, and it could have been ENCE who would pick Train in that regard, because they're both really, really strong on it. So what you're sort of like outlining here is the fact that we get to see the 3 best maps from both teams, so they can actually agree to play the maps that they're strong on. Yeah. That's often what makes the quality series, when you get 2 teams who are comfortable on the maps they're playing.
And they're good on them as well, not middle ground maps that you usually see in best of ones and whatnot. So yeah, I think we should have the ban. There we go, Inferno Cash getting banned. Not very surprising to me. And then, of course, I do believe it's going to be Train and Nuke getting picked here. Not sure in which order, like you said. It could be ENCE picking Train as well. And then, of course, will be Dust to Overpass. I don't see those 2 maps being picked here, so should be Train and Nuke. Yeah, there we go.
And it was the other way around.
Yeah, Train and Nuke, guys. That's exactly what we have.
Actually,
and I was just distracted by our dashing,
I'm getting distracted by you all the time, Trace. I don't know why that. I don't know. It's just your appearance. I
really like that jumper.
Like a negative thing or a positive thing? Almost
could be both.
Negative is what our last map could be here. Train, Nuke, and Mirage, the decider. Guys, are we going to 3?
Yeah, we're going to 3.
We are. I think this is going to be a super tense match. I think both teams are prepared. I think both teams have a lot to show, and I think these 2 teams are on paper the best teams at the tournament. Yeah. I will, be a little bit afraid of saying that, because there's a lot of Bravado fans out there currently hitting me on Twitter right now, being rather furious about the fact that we don't give them enough credit before the games. But I just want to
give them enough credit.
I give them the credit they deserve. They are definitely playing above what everyone expected, and that's a lot of credit.
I think what the sad part is, the fact that it makes for a better storyline, right? You're not supposed to win this tournament, but win this tournament or even come close to getting the grand finals. You made it. You proved everyone wrong, and that's great.
Well, that is great, and you are exactly right. They did prove everyone wrong, and it's going to be Heroic and ENCE that we got the chance to hear from going into the semifinal. So let's go ahead and check in with them now.
I don't think I had any expectation, I think. Like, if you look at the rankings, LDLC and Complexity, they're above us in rankings. I knew they were tough opponents. So I expected good opponents, of course. So of course I wanted to go through to the next day or to playoffs. So, but I didn't really have any high expectations.
They want to hunt this hopper down, but Mertz is too quick on the turnaround and gets the double in the air.
Yeah, of course I'm ready. I'm always ready to win. But you know, you never know. It's Counter-Strike. You need to be on your A game every day, and you never know what's going to happen, basically. It's going to be tough, but I'm looking forward to it.
It was pretty hard. A lot of intense games between Optic and G2, but I'm happy that we managed to go through. I think we are one of the best, if not the best team here, if we play our game.
Cannot do so. X7 can't hit a shot. Finally finishes off Config. The nade. Nick goes 5 HP and he's on the bottom. He's going down. X7 has stopped the defuse and he may have just won the round.
There's no kit. What a play.
We have to get our communication a little bit better and not be so frustrated. Always keep the focus on the match and not start whining or anything, and just hit our shots pretty much.
Of course, it's gonna be a great game. Like all our games is great. So if you're watching and you're watching us, it's 100% gonna be a great game. They're not gonna have fun, but we're gonna have fun.
And it's heroic on the stage here, Jacob Vinicki. If you're with us right now, what do you think about these empty chairs? They're going to be empty in the server.
Hopefully not. I hope they show up, because then we could have a barn burner of a match. I think Heroic has, as said, been the best playing team so far. I think it's a team that is getting better and better event by event. They recently added Peacemaker as their coach, which is quite interesting, and we get to hear in an interview the reason for that is the fact that they needed some more analytical point of views from Peacemaker. He's very good. I've had him as a coach myself. He's super, super good at sitting down and watching demos and, you know, working hard in that regard of the area. He struggled a little bit with the way he translated that into the players, but that's 2 years ago now. He could have learned better, and I think he has improved a lot as a coach, and I think the team as well have done some great work with him under them. Let's not forget that only 2 weeks ago they were winning a tournament in Bangkok, I believe. So this is a team that is used, or getting used to winning tournaments, or at least getting used to go far in the tournament. So I expect no less here. They're in a semi-final. They're in against ENCE, who is a relatively, I would say, even comparable team to themselves. So we should have a tight game. We should have a tense game, and we should have one of those games where I believe that Heroic will be the slight favorite, but it could go both ways.
So you're saying it could be a pucker factor 100 game?
Yes, that's what I'm saying, Trace.
Thoughts, Play?
Yeah, I completely agree with him. It'd be great for them as well, winning 2 events back-to-back. And of course, this guy, right there on the screen, Mertz, right? He's been a star performer. But the thing about this tournament in particular has been everyone, like players like Modi stepping up, right? Like Freiburg stepping up. These are like the veterans in the team. They don't really have to do the brunt of the heavy lifting, but Astillion had his game. Estetag was really doing and putting in work as well. So for them, winning 2 events back-to-back would be huge, would be a really good boost going into 2019. So I think, yeah, I think they should be, I would say, the slight little favorites here, but let's not count on ENCE, Trace, because I think it could very well also be easy for them.
It could be. And why don't we take a quicker look at ENCE? We've got X7, we've got Alexi B, we got Alu, we got Sergey, but what about this young man, Ariel? He's nuts.
They're all nuts. I think they're like, that's what's so impressive about this lineup is the fact that all of these players can step up and be the crucial factor within a game. I think the depth of this squad is super, super great. Yep. And I think that's one of the areas where they win a little bit over Heroic. I don't think their squad is as deep. As you said, they have Mertz, they have sometimes Modi going in as an entry fragger, but they're not as consistent as these guys are. Yeah. Alu obviously being the big star, being the dad of the team, trying to learn these young kids how to play, but he's not the in-game leader. That's the guy in the middle, Alexa B, and he's been doing a proud and a fine job making this ENCE team look good. Don't forget that the first time we saw them play well was at ESL 1 Cologne. That's some time ago now. Then we saw them move into some other tournaments doing fine. All of a sudden you see them win the Star Series tournaments, and that's where, again, they're a little bit ahead of Heroic. Heroic are winning tournaments, but those are the tier 3, tier 4 tournaments right now. The Bangkok events, the small events where not the best teams show up. Let's not forget that ENCE won Star Series, and that was an event where there was a lot of great teams attending, so there was a big scalp on their shoulders. Now, can they do it again here at DreamHack? It would have to take a win against Heroic, and I think that's going to be the biggest task for them. Again, I'm not going to say anything bad about Bravado, but either of these teams winning this one is going to be the favorites against Bravado, no matter how well they're playing.
Some people might even say it might be their actual grand finals, right? Could be. We don't know.
Easy for ENCE?
Easy for ENCE. I don't think it's going to be that easy for ENCE, right? Like you're talking about But yeah, I do agree with you.
Let's not negate the fact that Heroic has had a bit of a troubling season here. Yes, they're finding success right now, but they're definitely not at the very tip-top of the crop.
Yeah, true. And that's the thing. That's a storyline between these two teams. While Heroic can have ups and downs, like we spoke about ENCE yesterday on the desk, was that they have looked better event after event, have always elevated the level of play. And man for man, like you said, Mertz can really go off, and the guy can get unplayable. But man for man, just from a firepower perspective, ENCE do really have this place. They have Alu and Sergey consistently good, and Ariel's been coming into his own as well into this tournament.
Mertz versus Alu. Now, you might look at this and say, wow, Alu, 129 kills, what in the hell happened? But I'll tell you, they had a long day of fighting their way back to this point, so they have just a few more matches under their belt, so these numbers do equate. Let's focus more on what these players bring to the table within their teams.
I mean, Mertz is definitely a skilled player. He was playing for North for 6 months. That was not the most enjoyable stay for him. He ended up getting kicked. He was not performing up to the level that was expected
They
from
didn't win
him.
a tournament, though.
They did win a tournament, though, and that was decent. But as a player, he didn't really do as well as he was supposed to. I think that lacked a little bit under MSL's leadership. He wasn't giving the freedom he was supposed to have. Whereas Alu is the guy who doesn't need freedom. He takes freedom. Like, he's the man of this team, and he's sort of like surrounded this team around him. He wants to play the way he wants to play, and he's allowed to do so. So both players right now in the current standing gets the freedom they need to shine.
Yep, and I'm going to give you the freedom that you need, Twitch chat. We're going to unlock the gates. We're going to tie the mods up for just a second, and you're going to be able to get your votes in. Exclamation point ENCE or exclamation point hero. Let's go and get those votes going, because that is the one true way to control this simulation as we look to crown our next grand finals here, and the odds are going to be flying in as well. They're already favoring ENCE, which I think is pretty appropriate, but at this time I'm going to have to start steering this conversation towards predictions. And, well, I did it first last time, and so I think it's on you, Jacob.
Nah, we're going to start with Blair.
But I think for production's sake, it's on you.
Oh, it's on me for production's sake, sure. So Blair, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Come on, what are your prediction?
It's okay, now you're putting me on the spot here. But all right, yeah, I'm going to go here with ENCE. And I'll tell you why. Like I said, Heroic have looked really promising in that tournament. They've looked the strongest. But again, it's the same thing with Bravado and Existence, right? We've seen more from ENCE's tournament because they lost that game against G2, and they've looked very, very solid indeed. Even when things were looking a little scrappy, a little back and forth, like the Overpass game when Shoxy just showed signs of his old brilliance. Even then, we saw Alu really step up, Sergey have his moments, Ariel do his job as well. So I think ENCE would be the slight favorites here, but it is going to be a 3-mapper. It is going to be a 2-1 series. We're going to be seeing all the rounds, all the maps, Pimp. It's going to be a fun day.
I think so too. I think it's going to be potentially the best match of the tournament if it lives up to the expectations that I have, at least. As you said, it's two very even teams. It's two teams who have their star players. It's two teams that are performing well at the moment, definitely getting better and better event by event. As far as prediction goes, I think it could go both ways. I think it's close to a 50-50. I do believe as well that ENCE is going to take this one, and I think that's down to the fact that I believe they have more experience when it comes into these close and narrow zeros. Whereas Heroic, it's still new for them to win tournaments, and let's not forget that they won, with quite a margin when they were in Bangkok. I know it went to all 5 maps against Tyloo, but they were leading that, entire series the entire way, basically, and they looked like the better team for the majority of the time. Now they face a team that is supposed to be better than them, and they're playing from behind in that regard. Yep. And I think Heroic will struggle a little bit with that. Also considering they brought in a new coach, he needs to learn how they react in tense situations and all that kind of stuff. So I know they have a past with each other as well, but overall I just want to give it to ENCE. They're more stable, they're more consistent, and that should be what prevails here in this matchup.
I'm pretty sure that I want to be a hero, but the reality is I'm going to have to go for ENCE because it's easy for the professional esports organization, ENCE from Finland, to do this in 2 maps. I'm even going to call it just how it is.
All right, Trace.
Easy for them, and I couldn't have said it any easier than that. And you can make it easy on yourself by heading over to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and picking up the Strafe Esports app. It's the one true way to follow along with all the DreamHack Open Stops, and moreover, follow along with your favorite teams and tournaments. Well, that does it for us. We're going to be jumping into this best of 3. It's time to kick off our second semifinal, the one that ENCE will maybe take, but only time will tell. We're going to go ahead and kick it over to the commentators. They're sitting by. They've been waiting anxiously, patiently. Still not as festive as we'd like, but nonetheless, take it away, fellas.
Thank you very much, Trace. And obviously, Pimp, not really jumping on the Dane train. Do we have our resident bias here from Niels?
To be honest, I think I'm going to side with Logic here and say that ENCE are probably going to win this series. I'm going to go with hard, push that down in the barrel. That doesn't matter. Go with Logic instead. Cold, hard Logic, as always, prevails in Finland, of course.
Well, the Twitch chat is clearly agreeing with you now, 77% on that side. Obviously, Easy for ENCE is still running. I definitely think this is going to be a 3-mapper. I don't see any way that this would go go 2-0 to either team. And I think predictions out the window at this point. This is probably going to be the best match of the event, I'd like to think, only because of, you know, obviously the winner of this going to face Bravado. We don't know what to expect there. Bravado have surprised us at every turn, so I don't think it's crazy to think that they could, you know, definitely put up a fight in the grand final, maybe even take a victory. But in terms of what we already know, these two teams are definitely going to have a battle here.
One thing that I feel like is going to be interesting in the key of this matchup is the first map, which is Nuke, the map pick of Heroic, obviously DE Denmark, but one thing we have to keep in touch. Actually, it's Train first. I'm not actually sure how that video panned out. I'm pretty sure it was either Nuke or Train first. Doesn't matter. Nuke is in the series, and Nuke is the map choice of Heroic. But don't forget that ENCE are really good on that map as well. This is the map choice of Train first. Map choice of ENCE should have a big advantage. I think they're 13 and 5 on it. Heroic are 7 and 9. But when we go over to Nuke, which is going to be the second map, then ENCE I think has like a 55-45, even though it's Heroic's map choice, because they're so stable in this map. They only just lost to Optic, and Optic played a hell of a game. But now, first of all, this is the first challenge, and this is where it's going to be hard for Heroic or easy for ENCE. We've got to find out. Modi takes some damage early on, so does Alu. X7 pushed back.
And there's two players towards the Ivy though for the CT side, and Alexa B's firing shots into the back of their heads and the front as well. It is a clean sweep from ENCE. Dear, oh dear. Domination on that A-bomb site. Little note to mention as well, Alu only bought a smoke in that round. He saved $500 in the pistol. Quite an interesting one. Someone else bought a kit on the team, but that's obviously him saving for the AWP in the event that they did lose this round. But that's going to mean that he can probably eco this second round and then buy up with the AWP into the first rifle. And yeah, okay, he goes for an SMG. He can make some money back off that. That's fine. Heroic, though, on the other hand, they've gone full Glocks. They are going for the B rush. Common setup.
Oh, Sergey with an 8 down lower. Not going to really do anything for them. They're going to try and see if they can get the plant in this round here. Sergey going to spray away with the MP9. And they're going to get the plant. That's what they came for. And that's what they're going to get. Money will be made by the MP9s, of course, obviously. So both teams kind of get what they wanted in this specific round. One thing we have to remember as well, like the stats as I mentioned before, if you convert that into percentages, it's a 43.8% win rate for Heroic on this map. That's not a very good win rate on like one of the more standard maps. Then you look over towards ENCE, who of course are picking this. 72.2, and the teams they're playing against, they're not playing against like bad teams. Optic, Red Reserve, the latest 2 games. They have, of course, a few locals finish games against Super Jimmy and Skidlight, but then Hellraisers and FaZe. A win over Hellraisers, a loss against FaZe at Epicenter. They're a really solid Train team. If they grab Train, which I think is in the cards, Heroic is going to be really, really challenged on Nuke.
Wow, that's a long time away. For now, it's still that CT side of Train, and then to bringing in some aggression into the first rifle round, although they don't have full rifles. Still these SMGs in play. I'm surprised to not see Alu pull in the AWP. He has the money for it, but wanting to run the bonus, seeing if they can in this round. I guess the value of not buying the AWP here is if you lose this round, you buy it up next round on a full buy, and you get a reset to Heroic, or at least you try to.
Go for the full bonus here. Yeah. And it also shows confidence in the team that our setup is going to be stronger than their buy. Basically saying, yes, you can have the advantage in mid to long range fights, but you're not going to get mid to long range fights because the way we're going to play around each other are going to totally trump whatever you're trying to do.
And we did see that ramp push early on, so ENCE did try and close the distance with those SMGs. They're also doing so with the M4s. Up in main sits 1.
Exactly, because now they're playing 1-4, which is basically the standard way to play it if you're really confident 3-man Train. Most confident teams play this 1-4. They initially stack 2 players if the push comes towards B. If the push doesn't come, 1 player is left on the back of, we call it the dog train, after the famous player Hunden. And he's going to sit there, wait on that lower train. He's going to have the smoke ready. He's going to have the Molotov ready if they have a full buy. And in this case, I think it's Sergey, potentially with the Molotov on that lower, but double entry outside.
Ooh, 2 big frags and a push through the smoke as well. Alu, he catches one, but he's going to get caught by the second man who walked through. It's actually the first man in position, and he'll be in position to find 3 kills. It's Freiburg. Something that was mentioned on the desk is some of these Heroic players that have stepped up in this event so far have been maybe not the usual suspects. We've had Modi playing well, we've had Freiburg playing well. It's typically been the the hard carry maybe from Mertz and the likes of Estag, of course, who has been pretty damn good as of late for Heroic. But they have only played a couple of games. They went 2-0 in their group, whereas ENCE have had a long fought battle coming in from that lower bracket.
And now going almost full utility. Ariel using his early on, Alexi B going aggressive in no man's land. Gonna get a lot of information and gonna try and create space for Alu, basically. Double man stack lower will take care of that. So now if anyone wants to push in towards inner bomb site, in towards B, they're going to look towards lower because of the information. But Alu is there, but the rotation is coming outside. Aerial in the pop. Gonna pick up the first one, just gonna hold defensive, wait for X7 to rotate in. They know their E-box now, but X7 can't land the frag.
Yeah, still 4-on-3 though, and still have that man advantage. And the Orbs beginning to rotate through the connector. Molotov extinguished with the smoke. Oh, the boost up for Alu. This could be big as well, because one player's climbing on top of the green train right now. Alu, oh, he almost falls. He does fall instead into the connector this time. Heroic still with plenty of time to play with, but those smokes are starting to dissipate as well. Mertz has found a key kill, and he's in the middle of the bomb site as well, wreaking havoc to these ENCE players. But the big flank from the early Pop Dog player has come through, and Sergey has drawn the attention away, so they should not be expecting or be prepared for this flank from Aerial. If he can close the distance with this UMP, he can do a lot of damage, but the range shot will only find damage to Asilian. However, Sergey's there on the connector to clean up. 3 for him. The young gun coming in big into this reset round, and that's exactly what it will be, a reset to Heroic's economy.
That's what we're going to see. In general, ENCE, they have a strong CT side here on Train. Win 58, almost 59% of their rounds. On this map, on the CT side, as the meta pretty much dictates, there's very few teams that actually have a higher percentage on the T side on Train. Some do. Heroic, not one of them, but more fairly split. I think it's 52-48 for them. Merged with the AWP, but glass cannon and only one flashbang behind it. Almost full utility on the CT side, so they're going to have that advantage. And X7 trying to go out and get the early positional advantage. But the smoke fails. He doesn't care anyway. He gets the frag. And Alu opens up on S attack and 5v3. This is a very nice situation for ENCE. Also, if you look at the money over at Heroic, that means that if they don't save anything out of this round, they're going to be on a full eco.
Yeah, ENCE had no fear to get aggressive, considering they know that Heroic Spy is going to be somewhat lacking. It was a pistol on Freiberg, now on a Galil. But 27 HP, and he's alone down Ivy as well. ENCE, 3 players to lock that one down. There's no way he's going to be able to push up in this position. Mertz is trying to get a pick, and he does have no armor, but he's got already 1 frag to his name. Mertz, he's got to be the hero of this round, the only man really equipped well enough to open this one up, and he is deep in the site, into the sandwich. Molotov down into the connector from Modi, but Mertz climbs up to his death. Now Modi has to make himself known.
Yeah, the CT's not going to peek here. He's just going to hold on the back of the bomb site, hold that position, make sure they can't go out, and that's 4 players surviving. One of the reasons why they're pushing Ivy in this situation is, as you said, because they know, okay, there's not going to be that much money in the T side. If we push out and take map control aggressively, then you'll probably have to, as T, use some of your utility to gain back that map control. For example, if you're Ivy, there's a deep smoke, you kind of have to wait for it to dissipate, and then you want to flash in and check every angle and use some of your utility to gain the Ivy control. If you just go down there, there's nothing from the CT, you can just walk in and then use that utility on the execute. If you force them to use utility early in the round, that means that's going to be, the T side is going to be missing utility when it comes to the execute in the end. And that's exactly what ENCE, they want to push in this scenario. This one is going to be a full eco. Not really too much danger for ENCE to lose more than 1-2 players maybe.
Ooh, Ali spotted them all as well, so even though the bomb crossed, Sergey's going to be moving in to clean up that final kill. That was almost an awkward timing, because Sergey moved off of the ramp right as Ali rotated in. And luckily enough, he is scoped and able to get 2 kills on those players walking down onto B, so it will be going the way of ENCE once again. A nice start to this map, definitely, but we've yet to really see more than 1 proper buy round for Heroic. Here's going to be another, although lacking that AWP that Mertz definitely wants to bring it into this T side.
So what I'd like to see right now from Heroic is to do one of the common stretch, which is basically a standard that most teams has. Fake outside, show 1 or 2 players in T main and back alley, and then hit an inner timing. Because usually what CT teams like to do on Train is that they play 1-4, we've seen this before, but then with a quick rotate, which is Alu, who can rotate into the connector. If you show a lot of presence outside first, and then full on execute with smokes and Molotov towards the connector, that means that Alu is not going to be able to connect in. And that's why you have to show presence in this position right now. The CTs are getting so much map control, Merch is just holding them back. They're not showing anything so far. It means ENCE, they can do whatever they want. Right now, all over the map, they have the full map control. They feel like they have so much information outside that they can actually play 2 inner.
Yeah, they're ready for this, but they don't know about this deep Ivy push. With the smoke up close, it's allowed Heroic to get all the way towards the top. Freiburg even walking through that smoke. Oh, SMG on the other side. It's a free kill for Freiburg. A big entry frag to open up this A bomb site that the bomb will eventually be committing. Alexa B caught out of position, and now with this Ivy lost, luckily enough, they will trade it back. Aerial getting a crucial frag. The Ivy player, the second Ivy player, is still in position. Castilian is still pressuring the back line, and S-Tag found himself a 1-for-1 as Mertz trades right back. Castilian's fight finally going to be uncovered, but he doesn't get the kill in the initial fight. Luckily enough, comes back in for a second. And with 25 on the clock, that bomb is yet to be retrieved. Thank God this smoke is down for Heroic, but Alu, oh, he didn't spot the bomb, or maybe he did. He's just holding the cross instead. Unfortunately, the jump out of the pop dog, not connecting. 14 seconds left up. Alu, he could have won this round, but now the flash is going to come in and it will block him off. The bomb plant in position for Heroic and the kill from the top of the train. That's a really nice round from them.
Very scrappy round, but in the end, nicely done by especially Castilian, the in-game leader, taking action himself, pushing in towards the bomb site, securing the map control, and playing the 2v1 in a safe scenario. Yes, Alu could have locked it down, but it's so hard to play in the AWP in that position because, yes, you can hold down the bomb, like basically lane with the AWP, but the second that someone peeks you wide from one of the other angles, you're just completely dead because you have to be scoped in. Incredibly hard round to play for Alu. Mertz will be flashed out initially. Set up in probably the most standard setup you're ever going to see, the most standard default on train. 2-2-1.
Oh no.
Run boost. X7 is going to get the legs up, but surely going to die. He's still surviving with a 1-for-1 trade because Alexi B is here to do the backup. Nade lands deep. Castilian going to get pushed on. Alexi B is going to play in the smoke. Rotation has come in for Castilian, so he's not alone anymore.
This is the point where you just want to bail, get out of there. You've put the smoke down. You've somehow survived despite a lot of mistakes there down Ivy. So Alexi B going to decide to back off eventually. They do regain control down into T-Con, and that's because they spotted 2 players down bottom Ivy, and so they can take this control without too much fear. Alu gives his position away, but he won't be able to get a kill for it. S-Tag in the meantime is crept into B, and Sergey's Molotov will go behind him. That somewhat gives away the position of Sergey due to the trajectory of the nade. Flashing his teammates out of connector, and they will be able to peek this player who's come down ramp, but the smoke has cut their sight lines off. S-Tag playing a very, very good spot here. He could even sneak in through this smoke into Con, but the question is, does he realize that they're out just yet?
That's the value of the connector smoke. They have one player going early up, and they have so much map control and so much time on their hands that they can even throw down the second smoke when the bomb has already been planted. S-Tag is effectively just holding them back here, and unless they want to do a flash timing out, he's going to have the advantage. He's going to take the first one, straight for the second one, and potentially jump in for the third as well, but Alu's rotating back away. There's no reason for Sergey and Alu to go for this. It's a 2v3 and low HP. They're not going to win it, especially not now that Alu is all alone. And that shows again how you can kind of exploit if the CT team decides to play 1-4. If you can get a man early on in, they're not doing the execute actually, they're just walking one guy in. But because there's only one guy on that B bomb site, which is the Alu trying to save the AWP, is going to get it to go. Then that one guy can just call, okay, I see nothing B. If we just smoke the connector, we're going to add max play against one player on the bomb site because S-Attack can go up and hold aggressively as he does now.
Yeah, such a valuable position. Kills aside, just him being there shuts down any chance of ENCE getting back into that round for the retake. And now they've just got to force up what they have, not a lot. Double AWP, that being said, but only 2 more rifles behind that, and Aerial's gone down to a pistol. Definitely not the best of situations for ENCE to be in, but Heroic is starting to draw their way back into this game, despite it being a strong early start here from the Finns. Pushing to Pop Dog for Aerial. Only one man here on B, and that is actually a solo M4 as well. Considering you have the double AWP, I wouldn't have minded to see both or one of those AWPs rather down towards the B bomb site, but instead they're running double Ivy. This is something ENCE do quite a lot we've seen so far. And they may be met with some resistance as well, with Heroic sending 2 players up that position. Mertz is still trying to look for an opener up in main as well, trying to bait some shots to force a peek, but no one's going to be taking the fight.
See how they're going to play this one. Heroic going to go down towards Pop Dog, but Aerial always dangerous in this position with the CZ 75. Now, gets an AK well, dodges the nade. Molotov will push him away for now, but Alu is scoped in with the AWP. Scoped in and ready. Double AWP set up outside. As X7 misses shot onto Ivy, but another miss. 2 in a row for ENCE.
Those are some big whiffs, and that's opened up the CT spawn. Now X7 has to be aware of that. They can wrap all the way around. He watches to the left side. His teammate pushes up old bomb instead. X7 just jumping for the info. Sergey has killed that CT player instead, and Alexaby cleans up the green train, but it's all a ruse. It's all a fake. And ENCE, they may have made a mistake. The B bomb site's been uncovered. S-Tag is behind enemy lines, and he drops as the AWP fires, so he hides his position there. Getting the kill to Sergey, trying to lock down the connector. There's no more nades, but there will be a rush right through into the hands of this setup. Mertz hitting his shot as well. Even though S-Tag only gets 2 frags there, Mertz is supporting him.
Do they know about the HP though?
And there it is. Doesn't matter. HP makes no difference. 7 HP, still 1 shot with the AWP. And Mertz makes it work. 2
rounds in a row now where S-Tag has been allowed to creep in towards lower and just get so much map control. Yes, there's still one guy on the bomb side, but when you allow Mertz or S-Tag to get so much map control and get almost into connector, and you can just rush down low and get the bomb down, they have to think about their B setup now, ENCE, in this timeout, which is taken by Heroic, but still ENCE will have to rethink how they play this B setup.
One good sign of things for ENCE is the fact that Sergey and Alu are currently top of the ball for the team. These are the players that you want up there. Aerial just behind.
Yeah, and that's the ideal setup. That's what we expect and what they want as well. But I'm kind of curious if we haven't really been so much on the B player as of like the observing, which of course makes sense because he doesn't do much unless the B hit comes in. But how they're playing with the utility on B is kind of curious to me, because there is a smoke that you can throw, made famous by Skadoodle, that you can actually make to cover that lower end. And if they use that, that means that they can put more utility on the B player so that he can have a smoke and a Molotov on a full buy, and you can have someone help him out by smoking lower for him. But if they don't do that, and they just leave lower open for this entire round, that's a big, big hole in the defense of ENCE. And we're surely going to see in this next buy round that they're going to try and exploit it again. If ENCE doesn't have a fix for it, we're going to have to see them take another timeout.
ENCE love this ramp push. They've gone for it again, but Heroic are just holding a default, holding passive, waiting for this kind of aggression. They'll definitely check this position, but without flashbang, it can be dangerous. This double setup of PT50s can really tear you apart, but S-Tag, he does exactly that instead. He'll take down both those PTs, and Molly can start to split main with the SMG, finding himself one. Nades won't connect to the rotating player through the connector as Alu runs all the way around the spawn, and Alexaby tries to come back in from that B-bomb site, but already this is just done. And only have 1 man left up, and Heroic have taken a nice, clean and anti-eco. We do have that buy coming up in the next round for ENCE, and they will have the availability for an AWP or 2. And but Heroic have closed the score to 5-5.
Yeah, this is what they were talking about on the desk, and something that I think is very prevalent in this matchup as well. Like, ENCE, they have the better system. There's no doubt about it. They have the better system, they have the better team play, and they have the better structure. That's why Heroic are trying to add Peacemaker coming in, to add some more analyst skills into that, add some more, I don't know, depth into the strategical side of things. But Heroic, they have the better players. And if the players are hitting shots, everyone's hitting their level, this is like straight up very, very close. If they miss a beat, that's when ENCE can make an advantage. But right now, they're not missing any beats whatsoever, especially in these last 3 rounds.
Well, Mertz will miss a shot, and that's going to cost them more than a heartbeat, as ENCE have now taken a man advantage. Asilian does retrieve that AWP, denies any ability to pick up a second AWP here for ENCE, which they probably wouldn't mind. They've run it on X7 before. Heroic now, where do they go? It's looking towards B. Freiburg's still outside of that Ivy, but he's got to rotate off, and he's trying to sneak on down so they don't hear him repositioning. If that's heard, ENCE can probably go for another rotate towards B, and I think that's going to be needed. Actually, no, it is that A play. Oh. Freiburg is coming in from Decon. There's 1 man in the pop dog, but only putting pressure on it. It's the fake after all for Heroic.
Yeah, and see, once again, like 4-1. Like going for the inner play again, just as predicted.
That's fine with the man advantage, considering if Sergey just goes for 1 at least here, which you would imagine he'd go more for.
The timing, though. The timing on Alu. He's rotating in before the execute, just before the smoke. And this is going to be perfect. Alu now has a chance of winning this round. Sergey 1-for-1. Alu, what can he do? Molotov and smokes. He gets the first one, but the bomb is definitely going to go down. 2v4, advantage ENCE.
Alu doesn't give a damn. He's pushing right back in, trying to cut off any reposition behind this oil train. His teammates only just leaving this A site. They need to hurry up. Alu's been spotted. That's a big kill for Freiburg. He's still got a Molotov to cut off the connector, but he doesn't want to peek to it. S-Tag's doing that instead. They double phase, and S-Tag's just having an absolute ball on this B bomb site. X7's all that stands up, and even though the damage with the nade finds S-Tag low, he won't be able to catch him running back up the ramp. He's got his running shoes on. X7's got to tap this bomb. He's got to force the peek, but he's frankly running out of time. S-Tag finds 4, even saves the AWP. What a start for this man. Great work for Heroic. Another round on this T side.
And even though Alu rotates in before the smoke, that could potentially trap him, Sergey only gets 1 for 1 on the lower side, and he doesn't buy any time, and S-Attack comes up with a huge round. And once again, the individuals from Heroic step up to the plate, and that's the difference in these rounds. Because the ideal setup is actually that you have 2 players on the bomb side. For ENCE, they have that, but they still lose it.
It almost looks like ENCE were waiting for like a flank, pushing in from Ivy or Pop Dog or something, because they took so long to leave that A bomb site, even after spotting the bomb cross. Alexibi was only just leaving E-Box. So, yeah, very, very late rotation. That allowed S-Tag to get in the position to shut down this push. In fact, talking of pushing, look at Aerial, the one weapon for this team. And SMG has taken a frag towards T-Con. So ENCE at least in a 4-on-4, but again, you have to remember, they're just under-equipped. With one player pushed up down on B, gives the ability for ENCE to stack this A site with the other 3. But that's not going to be for too much longer. Sergey's pushed back, Modi keeps the pressure up, and now with the information, at least that Sergey was spotting, they know that the other 3 players have to be A, so that's why Heroic is starting to show a little bit of presence towards the B bomb site instead. Ali waiting for contact, Aerial playing anti-flash. I like this setup towards main, but Heroic, if they split Pop Dog at the same time, then this is really going to crush the ENCE setup. Luckily enough for them, in fact, it's going to be S-Tag backing all the way off. Modi's still in position to come down this pop, but the time is going to be the biggest factor, the biggest issue here for Heroic. They've got to hurry up, and they've got to go now. Alu up close with the pistol. He gets 1. Can he find more? Yes, damage. No frag, and that's when the split comes through. Pop Dog, well timed here from Heroic, getting rid of the SMG and leaving 2 CTs up, but only one of them on the correct bomb site, and that bomb has yet to cross. It might be dropped. It's Modi getting tagged up instead, rather, and Sergey on the flank could win this entire round here and now. He's done it. 1 kill, even more damage. He doesn't need to face. His teammate's dead, but he's taking the fight. The bomb's been picked back up, but he's so low. Sergey needs to land the shot, and that's an open bomb plant. It had to come in for Modi, and his teammate was not in position to catch the cross in the time. ENCE will win a pistol round here on the A bomb site, and that is just a slow round from Heroic coming back to bite them.
What a play from the young Sergey here. In picture, Desert Eagle, and a dream, and no nightmare this time around. Very nicely done by Sergey.
That's so unlucky for Modi as well. He had to plant, but Mertz
there's no chance. Like, either you have to go 2 people facing him, and since Mertz is so far away with an op, they can't go for the straight-up duel. They have to just hope for that he doesn't peek with a deagle. And a pause coming out from Heroic, who are on their way to like a pretty decent T side. Usually they win around 6-7 rounds on their T sides. On train, they had 1 Freak of Nature game that ended in OT where they had 10-5 on T. But that's always like, when it goes to OT, all statistics go out of the way. Usually they win between 6 and 7 rounds on that T side on train. So already now doing good work, better than they usually do, and potential for grabbing maybe 8, 9, potentially 10 rounds in the first half T side, which would be out of the ordinary for them.
We do have this all back up on Alu. ENCE have been in a bit of a rocky road these last 5 or so rounds prior to that, so we've not had the money to pull in X7 on that secondary AWP that can be very strong on Ivy. Alu, nice position. He's boosted on top of the site, and he catches Freiburg on top of the plat. So a man advantage taken for ENCE, and Heroic only just inside of the T-Con. It barely moved out, but Mertz still hunting for this kill. Alexibi might give it to him if he walks out too far in the open, but Mertz has already left T-Con, going back towards Ivy, trying to reroute for this round. ENCE, interestingly enough, have gone for the double B setup. They clearly have no info as to where Heroic are right now, but that flashbang gives a bit more of it, and that's why we've had Alu straight rotate off the connector, back up towards A. But he's just shifting between the 2, because there's still pressure being put down on B.
Could go for the CT split here. Heroic. They're gonna mollo right side. Rotate back. Mertz, there's no real reason for him to go in towards CT, so he's probably just gonna rotate and play the flank, but Assyrian could, in this scenario, be the thorn in the side of ENCE and make a lot of noise outside and then go through CT for the big flank when the bomb goes down inside. Let's wait and see. This is probably the setup. He's making noise now. He's making his position known. But look at the pop stack.
Yeah, this pop dog flank's going to be huge if Sergey can find a kill just to delay them by a few more seconds. It allows these players on the flank to get into position. Mertz is not ready for it. Alexibi has the backstab ready, but Mertz is killing his teammates left and right. The running, Alexibi gives away his position, and that's going to cost him the round. It's only Aerial left up. He might be able to do it on his own. And with 2 frags in an instant, the bomb not going to be open.
He doesn't have a kit.
He's got to stick it, or he's got to take the fight. He's going to hear the footsteps in the climb of the ladder. Lasilian going above, but he will not go beyond. Aerial wins the clutch. And that will be ENCE finding 7. No kit, no problem.
And it's unfortunate for Heroic because the second that someone pushes in the back like that, that's such a weird timing to come from lower. So they expect, okay, it's just one guy, one rogue player, but there's a second one coming straight in, and that's what destroys the whole thing. The first duel is won, but no one is expecting Aerial to be in this position. Very nicely done. This 1v1 is basically 50-50, but Aerial wins it. He's been playing out of his mind for this tournament already. He's 12-7, winning a very important clutch. 7-6. They need to ride this home and get the 9-6 now ENCE.
Yeah, and they might be able to do it. Heroic, not exactly on the best of buys. They've got the AWP, but Cillian down on SMG and utility is definitely definitely a little bit short. Heroic maybe just going for a faster pre-approach this round. They set up very early on with 3 players in position. This bomb a little bit further back, but yeah, they're going for it. It's the rush. Alu scopes out, and that could be could not be worse timed. He will go back in with a frag, and Sergey's going to move in close to the SMG. Again, Alu and Sergey locking down B, and even Aerial comes in for a bit of a cleanup. Those guns shuffled, and they will get it done. Another clean round from them. No casualties will set them up nicely for the last round of the half.
Nicely done by Alu as well in this situation. Knows that, yes, I can go in for a peek for that secondary one. Takes the first peek, gets a kill. He can go in for a second peek, that'll net him 1 more kill. But instead he goes for the flashbang timing, which basically helps Sergey not only to grab attention towards Connector, but also flash 2 players. And instead of just getting 1 kill in maybe a 50-50 duel, he helps Sergey to get 200% kills. And that's once again, Alu just breaking it down mathematically in split seconds in his head. How can I gain the biggest advantage for my team? He doesn't care about getting frags on his own. That's always nice. But he thinks about how can we win this instead of how can I win this. And that's why Alu is such a well-respected player in the international community, and especially in the Finnish scene.
And he's going to have to step up again, but his attention's been drawn away towards the pop dog. He needs X7 to watch his back. That smoke gives a little bit more room for Modi to play with, and they're going to try and boost up above it. Ooh, this is good. This could catch a free kill. Oh, Modi, he's found the angle, but he's not found the shot. And Aerial's closed the distance. Alu's already taken his head off, and they know there's a second player there as a result. X7's got to deal with the brunt of the push, and that is going to be down Ivy, but he's lined up almost 3. Damage to 2 more, but all the info in the hands of ENCE. They know where every single terrorist is, and it's not the same vice versa. That's why Aerial can afford to play aggressive, afford to play close. Because he knows S-Tag has to try and split this site. He's being pushed from the back as well, so it's very crucial that Aerial gets away with his kill. Sergey comes in through the connector. Aerial trades 1 for 1, but this is where the round could really come to a close. Sergey, they don't know. He's dropped the bomb. It's flown off the top of the train, and he knows that second player is at least nearby. He might hear the jump. Reposition, hide around the back. Asilian trying to close the gap, but he has only got a Tech 9 to play with. That's the B site open, and I think Asilian's realized, oh, he might just have time for it.
Yep, he does. There's 1 Molotov on Sergey, and then 3 flashbangs in total. A kit is available, but Alu also has to retake with the AWP unless he finds a weapon on the way. So this is doable. Very unlikely, but still doable. I'd say around a 20% chance for Asilian.
Oh, and he's behind. Sergey's watching it. It's all about the timing. It's all about whether he pushes. It's Sergey that goes around the corner instead. It's very, very lucky that Sergey did watch that position. Shooting the Tech 9. No one likes that gun. 9 rounds here to ENCE on the CT side. That will be the first half concluded.
And also, every single round after that Aerial clutch goes the way of ENCE, and that shows just how much a 1v3 clutch play can change momentum of a game.
Yeah. And that was a 5-round streak for Heroic before that happened.
Exactly.
So a pretty crucial round.
That's the turnaround round for that first half. That's the most important round, I would say.
Well, this is looking as balanced as can be. A 9-6 CT half for ENCE on
you would expect.
Train. Yeah, pretty typical here for a game that we also expect to go all the distance. 3 maps with close series. Heroic showing some fight, but now they've got to do so on the CT side as well.
This is where Freiburg and the rest of Heroic comes back into the game, hopefully. A pistol round would be a great start. would potentially set us up for a tight game. And so there's a little bit of information going around the ENCE camp here in the halftime.
I'd always love to hear the comms. Obviously, I don't speak Finnish, but translated. I liked when those events used to do VODs. Obviously, I understand why you can't really run that in
obviously,
current CS, but yeah. It was fun to watch.
In a dream scenario.
Yeah. Maybe one day, maybe for one event. Either way, maybe that's for a rainy day. Right now, it's 9-6, ENCE up in the advantage. We've got the buy-in, full armor for Heroic. This is a bit of a danger considering they don't have a kid on train, but they're playing double B to make up for it and also pushing down Ivy. This could be interesting. There's one player here hearing the footsteps. He's going to have to fall all the way from the back of the T-spawn. And X7, he will find that frag. Sergey's already opened up on A. S-Tag's the second man on Ivy B. He can't pick a spot to play, and he's going to get his head clean ripped off. ENCE now in a great position to shut down this pistol, and 10 rounds looks ever so likely.
All the eggs into one basket. Basically, if they don't find a frag out in that Ivy push, the outside bomb side A is going to be completely open with 2 players on the B bomb side. Asilian is going to try his best to come in and get some damage done, get some frags in, but they should have crossfire set up for him, and they do. Muddy with 1v3. He might be on home turf, but no.
Not going to make a difference there. So ENCE, pistol round is going to only lead them to go a little bit further. That's both pistols for this team now. They're very, very strong with these initial rounds. Will they find the conversion is the question. Heroic, they have the option to force in this second. It would, of course, delay their full buy by a round, but it would mean their full buy is a lot stronger, and yeah, they're going to go for it. I like it on a map like Train, similarly to a map like Inferno. On Inferno, you want the utility, so you want that 4th round buy. On Train, you want that AWP, and that's why we have Mertz only buying a Deagle here. Everyone else forcing up. There's still the chance Heroic can win this one, but ENCE, they've gone very safe. 3 AK-47s. They don't want to let this one slip. The problem is the utility, but they're going straight in towards B.
Yeah, exactly. They have the utility for the strat they have in mind. And that's the call you make in spawn, like how many AKs are we going to be able to afford? And before that question, what utility do we need for the round? And then you kind of balance that off afterwards. You find out what you want to do. And they're going to go for the inner explosion with 1 flank. And for that, 2 smokes and a Molotov and flash timings is fine.
Well, he's in a very good spot if they don't send a man up heaven. Sergey will be going there, though, so that makes his position ever more dangerous. Because he won't be able to fight down ramp with the CZ-75, so he's got to really rely on Mertz to do that for him. Sergey's moved back, but he is still, or he was still on the angle. He's just turned around. That gives Muddy a chance.
But they're going all back. Like, this is not going to be the deep play.
Ooh. Hey, it could have been. Muddy's given a free kill, so ENCE do have that man advantage. However, as you said, yeah, not the B play after all. They're just going for early presence, retaking back towards this A site.
But to be honest, it's a good idea in a situation where it's a dangerous round. Just group together, and it doesn't even matter if you want to go for the push, but as long as you're 3 players together, you're going to make sure that you don't die. The whole unit is there, but now the time is getting low, they have to go.
Yeah, this would be a big mistake if they lost it due to time, but luckily enough, this early B presence has forced a full rotation from Heroic. They sent everyone packing towards A now, realize the error of their ways, and as that bomb gets planted, the chances of Heroic go kind of out the window here. They might have to just save these guns for the next eco round. Asilian's been picked up. I think Freiburg's already realized this is done.
But that's what you need to do when you're up against a good team like Heroic.
And now the confidence is starting to show. They're on full USPs here for Heroic. A couple of investments, actually. Freiburg, with one of those default pistols, being able to pick up an early kill.
That was the MAC-10, though.
Yeah, not a huge problem here for ENCE. They've still got those AKs, 3 of them, in fact. Close position on that E-box. Asilian does get a chance to fall back. And Ariel, he's got to watch out for that. I think he's been spotted. S-Tag being killed in the meantime on that pop dog flank. And ooh, nice shot from Mertz. He's so good with this Eagle, but now he's all that stands between ENCE and a 12th round. These AKs still strong. One more be picked up by Mertz, and now he's got a real chance to do some damage, but winning the round, I think, would be a bit of a mistake from ENCE more than a sick play from Mertz. 12 rounds to 6.
And here we go. Another key round coming up for both teams. If ENCE can take this, they're going to keep building that momentum, getting on 13 with good economy. If Heroic can get it, there's a chance of turning the tide. There's an AWP on Mertz, which we talked about earlier. That one Deagle buy with the rest of the team forced up is so that he can get this AWP right now. The T side have upgraded everything. Alu's on the AWP as well, full utility. Almost full utility on CT as well. 2 kit, the minimum that you want, that's fine. And it's going to come down to the setup, the strategy of ENCE and the individual players now.
Modi's close up again, this time with a rifle, not quite the CZ. ENCE are trying to take some initial control towards B, and while Alexa B will get tagged up nice and early on by that AWP on the A bomb site, it's not a huge problem right now for ENCE. They've yet to really show their hand. Heroic have no idea exactly where they're set up, but a Pop Dog smoke will give Heroic a little more control of the map. However, ENCE are just going to counter that by rushing into B. That's where Modi sits. He's fallen back, and he's finding frags, or at least one. Aerial doubling up. Great entries to this B site, and that Molotov, if going down in time, can cut off the rotation. Instead, Mertz goes ahead of it with a smoke to try and cut this cross off, stop these players from getting aggressive like it's so common to do in the post-plant. Aerial, though, finding success instead, picks off that AWP and leaves just Freiburg alone. This is a dominant game for ENCE, and it is not stopping.
I'm not exactly sure what made Asilian do this. It might have been utility or someone pushing a position outside, but he rotated away just in time for Aerial to come in. You see, Aerial finds Asilian when he's rotating back into the connector. Asilian was actually holding the B side together with Modi, but something, I don't know, in his mind or maybe information from the other bomb side makes him think, okay, I gotta rotate into connector. That leaves Modi all alone. If Modi doesn't get like 2-3 frags and buys time, then they just lose the bomb side. And then Asilian rotates back into on an off angle. He's not really ready with his aim, and then double frag for Aerial. The bomb side is taken. All on the back of one rotation away from the bomb side.
Really nice work from Aerial, though. It's not just the stars you would always expect of Sergey and Alu. Aerial has been probably the most surprising player in this team to be so good, right?
He's been this third star.
Yeah,
this
definitely.
And that's what you need. You need an AWPer, you need a main star, and then that third star. And that's what Modi is, in my opinion, supposed to be in this team. But hasn't really shown it so far. Not in this game, at least.
Yeah, no one really has for Heroic. We've not had anyone save the day for this team, and it seems like, you know, while S-Tag had a great early start to this map on the T side, he was one of the reasons they won those 5 rounds. He needs to do it again. He's in a great position with a CZ, flanked up Pop Dog after all, but he only gets damage off that gun. Really not so great since the nerf. He finds out the hard way. 5-on-3 now for ENCE. Another flank coming in for Mertz. But ENCE is just holding default. They're not going blasé into this bomb site. They're waiting for Heroic to bring this aggression, and they're going to get gifted it. And not already holding this backline, but Mertz gives away his position and won't get a frag for it. All 3 attempts of aggression from Heroic have been punished.
They're just holding it. They have one player on a Pop Dog, making noise outside, and the rest are just ready for the inside push. The second that they feel like, okay, there's an opening, which is now, they're just going to go in. And yes, Asilian might grab the first 2, but surely he's going to be shut down. That's the best he could hope for. He got it, but it doesn't really matter. If the best you can hope for is 2 frags and they still have map control over the bomb side, they're still going to grab the round. Yes, you do economical damage, and that's nice, but at this point, Heroic doesn't really care about economical damage anymore in economy. They need to win rounds, and Freiburg is on the attempt. Low HP on the last 2 players.
Yeah, he's got a deagle. Great for one-shots even with full HP, so there's definitely a chance. The problem is the time. No kit, as you say. It's already half-ticked. ENCE aren't peeking, and Freiburg, he can't afford to sneak around the bomb site. He's got to tap that bomb, force a fight, but no one's going for it. The heaven push, well-timed. Aerial catches Freiburg looking the other way. And awkward timing for one of the 2 Swedes on this team will put ENCE in the driving seat even further. 14 rounds up.
Yeah, and it looks like the statistics were right for this one. Like, the win percentage of Heroic is just, like, low compared to the win percentage for ENCE in this one. I think it's around, like, 43, 45 for Heroic, and then 70 to 72 for ENCE. So, statistics don't lie. And this time around, they're bang on.
Molotov. Ooh, this is awkward. Heroic is setting up a very aggressive CT side on this A bomb site with 4 players, and ENCE, they're diving right into it. They had no support from the Pop Dog there, so that fight from Aerial does get picked away from Freiburg with no trade. Alu, he attempts it, but is unsuccessful. In the meantime, with all these players spotted on A, they will hit that B site. Ronnie gives away his position with the nade, and now they're going to be somewhat aware, but oh, he's in the open. Got to be very careful. He could get double peeked, and he does. Sergey gets away with a kill, and now the bomb site under the control of ENCE. This plant coming in, the Molotov to cut off rotations, and Alu can throw another one in. That's going to really delay things. Heroic smoke it to get out onto the bomb site, but Alexa B doing exactly what S-Tag did best.
Sergey as well to help him out. They're going to try and take backline control, but S-Tag is the only one gotten in there, but he's taking the fight towards Oil. Alu finds one in Mertz, but Freiburg coming in with a frag 2v2 now. Alu, pixel perfect once again with the AWP. Smoke on the bomb. Freiburg Not going for the defuse, going for the battle, but will not win it. 15 rounds for ENCE.
1 HP on Alu there after the spray from Freiburg. He could line them both up, and yeah, this is starting to look like a little bit too difficult for Heroic. Maybe not that, maybe too easy for ENCE. 15 rounds to 6 here. Heroic yet to get a CT round on one of the most CT-sided maps in the game.
Yeah.
Although we do have to remember this game is getting more T-sided by the day.
That is true.
On another tactical pause, trying to help out Heroic here, but really, what can you say at a 15-6 scoreline that can really motivate the team to get back into it? Asilian is certainly not looking too pleased.
Well, I saw a 3-15 go to OT and then a win for the team on 3 rounds the other day, so anything can happen.
Anything can happen, but right now it's not looking like that's a realistic
also,
expectation.
With the way that ENCE have been playing, they're just looking super solid right now, and that's why in that prediction game, like, they are the logical choice. Heroic, they need everyone to be on their A game to beat ENCE, and so far, we haven't seen everyone on their A game. They're not playing a bad game. It's not to bash on Heroic, but they're just slightly below what we expected them, and that's where the dominance of the ENCE, basically, the structure just prevails.
Yeah, and they only need to prevail for 1 more round, and that will be their map pick already under wraps. Asilian flashing his teammate into Popdog. There's 2 players there. Will they both be watching? Will they both be blind? Well, Alexibi had his back turned, and Sergey, he's got a shot in the head of S-Tag. Does get dinked in the process, so it's not exactly free for ENCE, and they're going to start to push out onto this A-bomb site. Molotov to cut off the trade. Aerial gets picked off by this SMG, and that's an unnecessary push. They already had the man advantage, but they didn't know where any more Ts were, and so Modi pushing up into the hands of Sergey. A fake into the B site has drawn Mertz on the rotate, and that's going to mean Asilian starts to flank up Pop, expecting a B play. He couldn't be more wrong.
But this position, though, is super, super key. He's getting so much map control. There's 2 guys towards Popdog. He's going to come into the back of Alu, get a free frag here, realize, okay, the AWP was rotating away from that position. That means they probably have Popdog, so he's just going to hold the angle for now. Call it. They can either go indoor, inside, or they can go Popdog. Mertz, you need to hold the bomb site, and then we come in with a rotation, and Mertz is doing a great job holding this site.
Yeah, only 1 man left in clutch here. X7. He's got a big task ahead of him if he wants to close out this game in this round. Mertz is getting close. X7's found the headshot. There's another man in the connector, but he can't quite find the shot. Freiburg keeps this one alive for Heroic. Nice round. A couple of awkward mistakes and missed timings, but it does work out at the end of the day.
Yeah, free frag here. This one is basically for Asilian, but the play he makes afterwards is the play that actually wins him the round. Takes another one onto Alu, sees that he's rotating in, calls it directly. They have to be above Popdog or setting up for an indoor push. And then be ready. Just counter that, take the bomb side, and then be ready for the retake if Mertz goes down. Asilian, great in-game leader, leading by example here. Taking space, kicking ass.
Talking of in-game leaders taking space, Alexibi has actually found himself deep into Olaf right now. Nice position, Modi. Oh, does he realize? A player's just run right by him. Aerial's going to be on the wraparound, and Modi, he swapped sides of the train, so he's not been spotted just yet. The player from Heaven might be able to catch him off guard, but does Alu even check this position? Iro's going down, Modi's been seen. Great check from Aerial, very methodical. It needed to happen, and this round is not going to happen for Heroic unless S-Tag has something to say. He's running out of words, he's speechless. His tongue's been cut out of his mouth, and ENCE looking to find a 16th round. 1v3 with the AWP. He's low. And they're already pushed inside of the connector. That bomb making its way through CT. They could line up here in theory, but even then it would require a miracle, and miracles aren't happening today. 16-7, ENCE will take their map pick nice and confidently as we open up this semi-final.
Nicely done by the ENCE boys. Heroic will be looking to take their map choice and then move on to the 3rd one, but I have to say, really impressive victory from ENCE. The model, you can kind of see it shining out both on the T and the CT side. The rotations work really well. The T side strats work really well. Everyone is just clicking into place right now. Sergey on 25-12. Sick individual performance from him. Ariel, the 3rd star, stepping up. The AWP on Alu didn't really seem so much, but he still did a great job. He did his job perfectly.
Yeah, up there on 20-ish frags at the end of the game, so looking very, very good. And now we're going to need Heroic to really bounce back. That was not the game I was expecting to be so dominant, but hey, Nuke's up next. Anyone's game. Heroic's chance to try and find a map in this semi-final, or ENCE's chance to go to the grand final to face Bravado. We will see you in just a moment after the break.
bensound.com. bensound.com. bensound.com.
ENCE making this semi-final look as easy as you would expect here in the first map. A dominant victory over Heroic on their map pick 16-7. We now go over to Nuke. Now this is Heroic's pick. This is their chance to bounce back, but as known, ENCE do like a bit of Nuke.
They're a pretty good Nuke team, let's be real. Optic, I would regard as slightly better on Nuke than Heroic, and they got 16-13 against the good old boys on ENCE. And ENCE look pretty solid on that map, so I think this could go all the way. A slight advantage to ENCE, but very, very slight one in my opinion.
We do know at least Sicilian came in our green room earlier and did say that they were confident coming into the second map, that the first one hadn't phased them. So there's definitely still the confidence in the Heroic camp that we're aware of. Maybe they have some tricks up their sleeve and are going to be able to show it here. But the odds on GG Bet certainly favouring ENCE. And to be fair, I think after what we saw from Train, that doesn't surprise me.
What do you think the odds are of us getting the actual trophy back?
I don't know, dude. It's been stolen. It's been given to a BYSC guy, so...
I think DreamHack just solved how to do like live content while ad breaks are on. Like that was some of the best live content I've seen in a while.
We were just sitting in the green room like laughing our arse off. Yeah, that was really, really funny.
Like I don't know how, but How to Basic somewhere How has made his way into DreamHack.
Man, his day rates are expensive. Yeah. Christ. Either way, we are getting into this one in just a second. Of course, Nuke, then Mirage being that third map, if we do go the full distance. The first semi-final certainly didn't. We have Bravado taking a victory there. So, obviously the winner of this going to face Bravado, I think that's such an interesting game, such a cool game. And as said before the matchup, right, these two teams are probably the best teams coming into the event, that being Heroic and
on
ENCE.
paper,
Yeah.
Definitely. And also ENCE, like one thing we saw at the stats, they're really good on pistol rounds. 9-5 in stats. Usually that's around 50-50, but this event, Nuke, an interesting map. comes down to a lot of the teams they want to do on the T side. They don't want to do the outside control. They want to put down that smoke wall or some variation of it. There's basically 3 different variations you can do outside. Take that secret control. It all comes down to when you actually execute into the bomb site. That's where the real battles begin and how much utility you have to get your way into, let's say, secret. Do you have the flashes? Do you have the molotovs to get your way all the way into the bomb site? Or you have to rely on direct duels? Because if you don't have full utility on T side, you need to straight up win duels. And Cillian getting the boys hyped. See that on the camera there?
They're all looking very happy. They're all looking very smiley on the heroic side of things. So that is certainly good coming into this one. Mentality going to play a big factor, but so will the frags. And we're heading into this one. Nuke, map number 2. It could be the final map of the semi-finals, or they could just be beginning. Let's find out as we head into this one. It's full armor on the heroic side of things. ENCE have got a lot of utility for a T-side pistol. What have they got up their sleeves? It looks like a fast A-rush. Ali's going straight in. Freiburg, he may have found that first up on the squeaky door, but he gets overwhelmed by the second. The Cillian on top of the hut, only for a modicum of a moment. It's S-Tag on the site with 2, dropping the bomb. Alu trading, and just like that, into a 2-on-2.
Trading their way into the bomb site, but bomb has not yet been planted. Good positioning from Mertz. Nicely done by Modi now. It's all on Alu. 1v2, knows the position of Mertz, and will he predict the one on the top of the side? He will, but not able to take the frag. 1v2 still. And the CTs are just holding the bomb, playing it very conservatively. No reason to over-peek, overextend. Hold your angles, play headshot, even though you know he's tagged.
Yeah, this is just giving them the time to set up exactly how they want to. Modi going to drop onto the site. They're going to double peek it. And, oh, he spotted it. He knows they're there, trying to force a 1v1, but surely they won't give it to him. He gets the dink, but Mertz swoops in. A Formula 1 wide peek there to pick up the pistol round for Heroic. Nice work considering ENCE just went for a rampant pace into that bomb site. They didn't even slow down to set up the main smoke and the nades. They just charged on in. And that will be them, Heroic picking up the pistol round regardless. Exactly what they needed, not only with ENCE being very good at pistol round statistically, as you said, but also the fact that they're up a map.
Statistics tell us that both of these teams are pretty good on Nuke. I think it's a 6-4 and a 7-3 for these two teams individually on this map. So both very, very talented, 60 to 70% win rate. ENCE, funnily enough, actually are best on the T side on Nuke, which is something that goes a little bit against the meta. See how they can do here. This is just going to be the eco push. The goal is to get the bomb down, but that's not going to be accomplished. Heroic sets it down, and the full eco means that they have the potential of a buy here, the ENCE players on the T side.
Yeah, but Heroic is still running SMGs. No casualties in that last round, so bit of a bonus for them potentially coming into this third. That's fine. Again, if you have a flawless second round, you can play bonus on the third. If you win it, that's great. You upgrade to AKs. If you lose it, buy up everything in the next round. Get that AWP in the hands of Mertz, because right now he's just still on the scout. Surrounded by SMGs. Only 1 M4 here from CT side, but we've got AKs up and a great nade to begin things.
Alexi B down to 19 HP already. I think that was through the spam.
Yeah.
And we've seen that more and more coming in, especially in this tournament. Spam through the hot and spam through the door. Smoke setup outside, as said before, this is one of the 3 variants. Will allow one T player for now to go into secret, but the rest of the team actually not going in there. It's impossible to know for Heroic to say how many players are down now. Freiburg already with 1 smoke down, gonna hold it for now. But the explosion is not gonna come towards secret, it's gonna come here towards ramp.
It is that split towards B, given the fact that they've got that lower control. Mertz tries to hold on to it from the CT spawn, tries to watch for any over-facing towards hell. There's a flash in, tag, but not that much damage from it. Must have clipped the wall there. Alu's only down to 60. Modi still lurks down on this B bomb site with Freiburg, and S-Tag, well, he's pushed up into lobby rather, with Cillian, and they've both taken a kill. So now Heroic have a man advantage, and they were aware that ENCE is somewhat down towards this B bomb site. The only potential wrap could be a heaven play, but Mertz is still covering that one. So ENCE, I mean, all the information and the pick is in the hands of Heroic. There's no utility really left for ENCE. They get 1 frag, but this bomb plant's going to be very difficult, because look at the man in decon. Freiburg, he's down. That's a big loss. And ENCE, they're suddenly pulling their way back into this round. Heroic down by 2.
And smoke for the plant, so that's going to go down without any doubt. Molotov still on Sergey, and only a couple of flashbangs remaining on the CT side, and ENCE, they're winning the duels. And that's the difference in this round. Yes, Heroic had all the information, had good map control, had good positions. They didn't win the duels, mainly down to just straight up aim, but also down to the weaponry that was in this round.
Yeah.
A lot of AKs against MP9s, UMPs, Scouts, and all that stuff. But then again, this is just the bonus round for Heroic. The next buy is going to come after this.
Yeah, that could have been a really nice kill from Freiburg, but unfortunately, as you said, only an SMG, only an MP5, so did lose that duel. These guys will survive here in the secret, don't take damage from that corner, so first round for ENCE. But as mentioned, coming into this round is we're going to have that full buy fine for Heroic. They're going to have the AWP potentially. I think they just had enough money on Mertz, but oh no, they didn't. They only had 3,000 coming into that round, so no AWP, but they will have a buy somewhat if they want to.
4 M4s and 1 Galil that was saved. Actually, they're going to go 1 FAMAS, so Muddy, he can get flash and nade, no, smoke and nade as well. So opting to go for more utility than firepower in this regard, and a lot of smokes on the CT side. No smoke outside to the T side. They're just going to go straight for secret control without any smoke setup. It's going to cost them a bit, but now ENCE spraying away, and Freiburg joining into the fray as well. X7 with an answer back. 4v2.
Bomb dropped in the open as well as the biggest issue of this round. ENCE still firing off towards the silo player. If he can get this kill, this round might just be done like that, but it's also very dangerous. He's tagged up, so it's Mertz, but Modi finishing off the frag instead means that this is looking solidified on the flank. X7 trying to rally back to get this trade kill, but Modi is above and beyond. Shooting on down, that's a second kill from him. Modi will pick it up for Heroic. 3-1, they find that reset.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you use the smoke setup outside when you want to take map control. Like, yeah. I know, yes, you can have a lucky timing, and you can get down there without using those 2-3 smokes, but if you don't, it leaves ENCE open for doing something like this. It's just a way of saying, okay, we're going to invest this money and these smokes into crossing without losing any members of our team. Yes, might take some damage through the smoke, but surely not going to lose any players. And ENCE, they overextend themselves. They think they can get down, but it's not possible.
Ooh, that's almost a good day. The 81 HP left on Alexa B. Just makes these M4s a little bit better. Dink is no longer going to be a problem. 1 shot to the head. But, I mean, they've even taken AKs, so that's going to be happening regardless for a couple of players on Heroic. Nades in response go out towards main, but Freiburg's in a great position up close. Aerial has worked into the yard as well, so they're looking like ENCE want to go for this lobby crunch towards that A site, split it in through main. Only a couple of players here, but they're still going to assist Freiburg with a good smoke. There's a bit of a gap there. Gives Freiburg an angle to catch out maybe a close positioned ENCE player. They've got to worry about this man at the back of yard. S-Tag once again. He had a great previous map despite Heroic not being able to really find too much success. He's going to have to show us once more. Picking up X7 from the silo, he's drawing the attention, the flashbang over the top to allow for the peak, and now he can just fall back. They might try and chase him down, but Freiburg's in a spot to finish them off if they do in main. Aerial reloading, they still know he's close. There's a second player rotating onto the A site. Freiburg lines up 1, damage to the second. S-Tag is still just being a complete nuisance. He's wasting so much time. 30 seconds up for ENCE, and they're just going to give up on this. They're going to go pushing into the A bomb site with only 1 more player committed towards the yard. S-Tag getting rid of him very, very easily. Mertz is dropped at the back of the site, but there's still 1 man here, and S-Tag is still firing at the back of the site, killing the player with a bomb. Sergey's run out of time, and that will be Heroic winning the round. What a sick play from S-Tag, just so annoying in the yard.
He is such a good player. And that's the thing, right? If you go back a year and a half, no one would have said, okay, ENCE is going to be like the star player on a Danish team that's like in the top 20 in the world. He is. Yeah. That's just how it is. Like, straight up, he's been so, like, he's improved so much over the last year and a half, 2 years.
I mean, think about how many players we saw come out of old Trick. I'm talking like 2015, 2016 Trick. The old one with Hunden, Yugi, S-Tag, Nico from Optic.
Yep.
I mean, so many of these insane Danish players came from playing under not only that org, but that in-game leader of Hunden.
Definitely. And that's one of the, like, the things with Danish Counter-Strike, and one of the arguments why it's so strong is that the level below our pro teams, like our full salary, like compete almost at like every single big tournament teams, that level is really high. The Danish top 10 is, in my opinion, also of course super biased, but the best top 10 in the world. Like, a team that's number 7 in Denmark is still going to have the potential to be top 30 in the world.
Yeah, I don't think that's biased at all. Denmark's the best country in Counter-Strike right now. I think almost everyone would agree with that.
Sweden used to be a couple of years ago, but Denmark has taken over. Big respect to Sweden, of course. We are here now. You got to pander to the crowd.
Yeah. Well, Existence, unfortunately, were knocked out earlier today by Bravado. Home crowd advantage not working there.
But then again, There's Freiburg. There's Marty on this team.
Yeah.
We can just do a good old unification of Denmark and Sweden, Kalmar Unionen. And then
no idea what that means.
It's some history, man. I'll teach you later.
Oh, pistols for ENCE are charging down towards B. It's not going to be too successful, as you can see. Estag with 2 and Asilian with 1. Freiburg's dropped into the vents, and it's going to be Aerial running on away. There's not really much you can do, so just take the fight and get this round over and done with. Heroic only losing 1 player on the anti-eco. Nice start to this map. We did say that they expected to bounce back in this game, and currently it's looking very good for them.
Indeed. And also when you think about the fact that, like, statistically, ENCE are winning more rounds on their T side than their CT side, I haven't really seen any sort of argument from that. Like, ENCE's T side, in my opinion, so far hasn't been impressive at all. And that's saying with I'm saying with a lot of respect for the players on ENCE. Mertz is trying to go aggressive outside, and that's the play that they just can't allow. They can't allow Mertz to get this kind of space. S-Attack on the top of red. He's going to get a free frag here, but Alexi be answering back. S-Attack maybe a tight bit off there. Mertz rotating back. They're going to play the 4v4. Freiburg dive into the vent. That step was hurt by Alu, so he's going to be able to call, okay, they're going to have 1 secret or 1 vent.
And that's the value of those outside smokes. Heroic think that there could be people down B. There isn't anyone down B. ENCE about to hit this A site. Freiburg will spawn it though. He won't be able to find the kill, but the man above is going to be able to shoot on down, getting himself 1. Asilian looking for more, but he's aware of that split from main, and X7 coming in with the frag. Alexi B with a double. And that's a nice round from ENCE. Really good work from Alexi B. Not only killing 1 player outside, who should have had a free kill, as you said, but also catching those rotations through heaven on A.
More importantly, not going 007. He was 006 before this round.
Really? Well, that's...
and that's the most important frag you can get, Hugo. It is the frags, and you don't go 007. And you get 3 of them. Very nice of them.
Yeah, winning ENCE a rifle round here. If they follow up with another, it would break Heroic's money, so... I think they're aware, and they want to go very, very fast, at least in towards the vent side. Alexi B going to be abusing this early spawn to get into the B bomb site. Now, there is a man here, but does S-Tag know that he's so up close? It doesn't look like it. He's walking into his death. Alexi B with another key entry here for ENCE, and now it's the outside split with the smokes down. They will be committing towards the lower site. A second entry kill coming through, and things are looking very good for ENCE.
The last round and this round has been looking very, very nice for the T side. They are abusing what you can do on the T side. You can go for that aggressive play. You can go for that vent dive. You can use your smokes outside, get into secret. Asilian and the boys will either have to straight up save or go in and take some very hard duels.
And the best part about just going for an instant secret rush like that is you're going to have so much utility left over. That's why we just have an instant double molly, and that double molly solidifies the round. That makes the road go, okay, we can't peek, we can't get a pick, and by the time those mollies fade, the bomb's half ticked, so we need to save. And that's exactly what they'll do. ENCE are not chasing too heavily, considering they've yet to build up too much of an economy, but they're watching the yard at least.
And that's how it is, like, go for an early smoke push, get into the vent, 2 smokes outside to cut off the rotation into secret, and then just 1 smoke for the plant, 1 smoke left over.
Now, the money of Heroic's in a bit of an awkward spot because we've got 3 guns saved, but because that's the second loss in a row, they've only got 2,000 per player on every player. So if you want to buy around this, it really screws your next round up. On the flip side, you can go for that eco on those 2 dead players and have 3 rifles and 2 USPs and then have a full buy in the upcoming round, but they want to commit to it. They bring in 2 SMGs and a lot of utility behind it.
Confidence is still high on the Heroic side, but investing a lot of money into this. Mertz, the only one with cash left over. Makes a lot of sense, thinking about what happened in the last round. A very important round right now. Once again, smoke set up outside. S-Attack is very aggressively up in towards this position. He's actually going to play behind the door. Muddy finds one, trades on ramp. Is Mertz going to be able to come in with the op? Take this angle. Ooh, doesn't get the kill. S-Attack, though, with the door position, does get the kill onto Aerial, and he's picked up an AK rotating in towards this lower bomb site. He's going to get peeked from the window. This is a perfect angle from Sergey. Quick 2 kills him in.
Yeah, baits him in with the bomb plant, and although X7 gets killed immediately, Sergey's able to retrieve 2 frags. So ENCE now back in this round in a 2-on-2. They had lost the advantage due to S-Tag with an SMG and upgrading to the AK. Now Mertz not convinced this is B after all. They could have gone back up ramp. They could have flanked heaven. ENCE could be really anywhere right now, and Heroic, while they have an assumption, they have no information to play off of. Sergey, oh, he tries to sneak silently, but gives up with that after making a bit of noise.
Also, they don't have a smoke for the plant. So Freiburg lets the plant go down.
You can see he didn't want to make the mistake that he made a couple of rounds ago to peek earlier and go down, especially not in a 2-on-2 on the retake. Mertz is going to be coming in with the AWP. They're taking their time. They've got a kit to play with and 2 smokes to cut off ENCE, but they've yet to even realize where these Ts are in the post plant. Freiburg starting to clear things out. A strong crossfire for the finish, but they've yet to even see a Heroic player. Flash out the window.
Oh, they know now. They know both of the positions of the CT players. This should be over. This should be over. There's no chance of Mertens. He can do damage, yes, and take economy away from the C side, but there should be no time. Also, he's dead.
A little bit close for comfort, but yeah, Heroic just taking a lot of time to get into those positions. The reason you would be doing that if you're Heroic is you're expecting players in positions like where Sergey is in this kill cam. You're expecting players in the window room in the back of Secret, but because there's no one there, you've just wasted 20 seconds clearing dead angles.
And also, ENCE playing it correctly, drawing away from the bomb site, rotating away from it at least with one player, so that if something happens, and if you lose a straight 1v1 and now has to play 2v1, you can do it from the ramp. The time is on the opponent. They have to go in for the defuse, and that ramp position, even if they have a smoke, pretty much in your favor. Now the timeout comes in. This one is the Heroic. First timeout that they're drawing here on Nuke.
This is fine though. They will have 1 eco, considering they force bought that previous round after the save. And after 1 more eco, they're just going to be able to buy up at 5-5. So it's not all bad for Heroic. They give away a 5th to ENCE, as we know they are strong on the T side.
And Mertz saved 2k in that last round because he didn't have to rebuy the AWP, so he's going to have AWP and utility for that next buy. No worries. But this one should be rather one-sided. ENCE going to go outside control, which is fair. You have AKs, you have long-range advantage. Go outside where you can use that advantage.
Bit of a ramp stack here. Bit unorthodox for Heroic. Not a position that ENCE are focusing on at the moment, though. They're trying to take Secret. There's 1 man down there. It is Freiburg. He's about to realize all of this if they do commit towards going lower. And ENCE, I don't think they're trying to hide this too much. You just got to make sure they're methodical.
Ooh, again, the same angle.
Angles.
Yeah. That's the problem, because that angle was just used by S-Attack 1 or 2 rounds ago with the UMP-45, so surely they're going to straight check that.
Now it's the heavy rotate down B. Heroic realizing this is a lower take. Ariel's already here. Alexa lines up 1. It's actually a team kill for Alex. Bit of a mistake, but up against pistols, it still shouldn't be a huge problem. I say that. S-Tag's dropped another. They can bail from this site, but that would mean them giving up these rifles, and they've dropped over, and S-Tag is not stopping.
That's huge.
Drive-by shooting in the vents. Sergey, he's lost the bomb down below, and S-Tag's watching up above. This is going to require a miracle for ENCE. There's got only 25 seconds left on the clock. The flank gets caught by S-Tag. He is going absolutely ridiculous here. Finished off. Sergey finds 2. He's got time. Just enough to run back up towards A. And the other player, Mertz, down in the depths below. Won't be able to stop this part, but he can win the 1v1.
52 HP on Mertz, 19 on Sergey. And Sergey has a bunch of utility. Deep nade onto the site. Sergey has this one on lockdown.
Nice. Good position. Great post plant as well. The bomb was open. He comes back in from the wrap anyway.
Still a good eco nonetheless. Great economical damage done by Heroic. Sergey with the Heroic play to do it all on his own. S-Attack once again, showing why he is the star player on this team. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, what a ridiculous clutch. What a nice round from S-Tag. It's such a shame to see that slip out of his fingers. He got, what, 3 kills there. Not going to be able to close it out. It's a fast play into A. That Molotov does do a lot of damage, but the flashbang's so good. Freiburg can't convert any of the kills off the back of his incendiary. Sergey finds the opening frag, and although he's tagged up, there's still no trade in play for Heroic. They're watching for ENCE. As the bomb goes down, Modi comes back in from the heart. He's not going to be ready for that close position. Sergey still not getting the kill. In the meantime, X7 has traded 1 for 1 as well. Alexaby going down as Heroic, with 2 players in the heaven, are just going to forfeit. They're bailing. They're running away. It's going to be ENCE taking a 6th round, and Alu's even firing bullets in the back of these skulls as they attempt to exit. He might be able to catch out this AWP. No.
Mertz still alive, still kicking. Body taken out, so they'll only bring an AWP.
If that.
If allowed. Into this next round, missed by Mertz, but it's always hard with those windows in the AWP. They know exactly where he is. Lands the first one. Second one will be pushing in, and Rat will kill him. That's going to be Sergey. So taking all the weapons away from the CT side, but also losing 4 of their own, so they have to rebuy. But I feel like ENCE are pretty happy at this moment just to deny the chances of Heroic, even though it means that they have to spend all their own money.
I mean, it's 5 rounds in a row now for ENCE, so losing all your guns, while not optimal, is not the end of the world, right? You'd much rather trade and screw Heroic's money while also taking a bit of a hit yourselves. They've still got cash to fall back on somewhat.
Yeah, it's like, that's the thing, right? It's a high reward. It's also a high risk compared to the fact that you don't have, let's say, 5, 10K in the bank on everyone. But the reward is so great that it's not a problem going for it.
Again, a ramp stack for Heroic. They're just going to keep trying this because ENCE didn't see it last time. They saw those B rotates, so ENCE should somewhat be aware of Heroic doing this before, but to run it again, that's a bit crazy. However, it's the same setup from ENCE in this round, apart from they've actually got 4 players in lobby. It's Aerial going down B. They could definitely split ramp if Aerial calls that, you know, the B site's looking like an option right now, and this is where these pistols could really be dangerous.
Naughty, Cillian, and all the boys pushing towards the ramp. But for now, it looks like an inside explosion.
Yeah.
For ENCE, X7 just holding the angle. Molotov on the top of hut. It's not really going to burn anyone.
And that flash, just a lone flash, even though nothing is following up behind it, that will keep these Heroic players in this position.
Yeah.
And it's just a complete fake. 30 seconds as ENCE creep into the bomb site, and now Heroic is starting to realize, okay, they threw all these nades, but nothing came from it. There's definitely no one here.
With 25 seconds to go and nothing has come around, you know it's going to come another place. It's going to be inside. X7 is just mopping them up.
And ENCE definitely now have this information that Heroic like to stack ramp on the on the ecos rather. That's 2 rounds that they've seen rotations out of ramp. 1 down towards B, 1 in radio.
And this is more and more looking like what we expected to see from ENCE on this T side. It's what I said before, like they like to win their rounds on the T side. They have a really solid T nuke. And in these last, what it's been like 6 rounds in a row, looking very good for them.
But we do have another buy-in for Heroic. It's everything they would have wanted and more. AWP on Mertz. We've got the Organ Asilian. He's been using that a lot here in Sweden. Aerial's going fast outside. We've got close positions. Look at S-Tag. Oh, he's in a really good spot. The problem... Oh, no, sorry. I thought he was outside of me. He's actually inside of it. Getting naded.
Just holding it very defensively. Aerial. Trying to make his way downstairs. Freiberg holding the smoke. Aerial forced to go back and at least hold his position for now. No further map control can be taken. What's the call here for ENCE? He's still got 1 smoke and a bunch of Molotovs left. That smoke could be for the plant downstairs. Molotovs to shuffle out positions. And that's exactly what it's going to be used for. Freiberg pushed back, but he throws 1 of his own. Stifling the push for now. Interesting choice. Molotovs is extinguished, but the smoke pops, keeping Freiberg away from the angle.
It's the same play again from ENCE, an inside push with a flank coming up from the vent. Asilian's in probably the best spot to deal with this one, considering it's very hard to look up when you come out through the hut. Asilian shuts them both down. That vent split is not going to be finding too much success here, but Aerial actually does get a kill after all. Asilian's dropped inside of the hut, and they know it as well. They're very aware, but they don't want to keep pushing on. Alu's taking a kill down B, and Aerial catches that rotate as Asilian assumes they're both down on the lower bomb site. That's exactly where Modi is now, and he's going to try and stop the plant, but with no nades to get rid of that man behind the silo. He may know his position, but knowing is half the battle.
Yeah, the silo guy just has to basically bait, and that's going to be the double peak. What a turnaround. Asilian with a great defense, but not able to keep it going.
What was that, 2 on 5, 2 on 4? Something crazy.
I think it was 2 on 4.
Yeah, pretty ridiculous stuff from ENCE. Alu and Aerial getting it done. And that vent split had way more effect than I assumed it ever could, considering we had not only Asilian up in heaven, but a man playing CT vent. Crossfire on the bomb site. Asilian opens up with 2. And just like that, ENCE bounced back. So Heroic now, they are piecing together a buy. It is not the best of ones.
70 rounds in a row, Hugo, for ENCE. Not saying it's easy, but it's definitely not hard.
Yeah. They're making it look easy. Look at this outside stuff.
That is the magic of Finnish esports organization, and
indeed. I like this setup.
Yeah. ENCE hasn't really abused that position from before. Mertz has been behind red, but he's going to be the bait, basically. See if he's going to swing wide. ENCE is holding the drop down. It's not going to be a swing. There's the swing. Flash timing is the name of the game. No spot towards ENCE. Free frag for him. Can he go for the second? He will. Really nice setup. Working perfectly just off one flash timing and positions.
Yeah, that's just why Mertz goes for the Emperor Peak, because it sets up his teammate to do even more than he could with that SMG. Sergey.
2v5.
Oh dear.
Now 2v4.
We've had Alu and Ariel give it a go. Why not Sergey and Alexei as well? The brains and the brawn of this team coming in clutch in a 2-on-5. They've opened up the A site. They've got a plant. Bit of utility as well. Heroic need to make sure they play this one very carefully, very safe. And they will do so, all coming from heaven. This could be good. This could be coordinated. Sergey's found one, though. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. He's spotted more. He's definitely aware that there's at least 2 players up there now. He's going to catch one of them. Oh, no! Sergey's doing it all on his own. He's out of ammo. The trade's there for Modi, but the bomb, there's no kit, there's no gun. He's finally found one, but Alexei B's let it take for so long. He's wrapped all the way round through main. And while Modi may know there's nothing he can do about it, he's got to run for the hills. Another 2-on-5 for ENCE.
History always rewrites itself, Hugo. If you don't learn from the mistakes, you're doomed.
Dear, oh dear. What a round to lose. Fantastic work from Sergey. Like, obviously, while, you know, Heroic shuffled out one by one.
Sergey's playing insane in this situation.
Yeah, you know, you shouldn't be getting like 3 kills there, or 2 kills even. Massive work.
He's even close to getting that one. It's like, it's only because he runs out of bullets.
Definitely. Wow.
And the force for the last round, which means not a lot of utility on the CT side. 2 kits, yes, but no Molotovs. 2 smokes left with 140 to go. On the T side, full utility on everyone, even secondary pistols, Tech 9s and everything. But Asilian, he wants it differently. Pushed all the way into main lobby, but doesn't see anyone. Calls this out. Says, okay, I got this on lockdown, guys. It's probably going to be an outside play. Be ready for it. That's why we see the rotation now coming in from Muddy off screen. He's going into windows. They have a couple of players towards this outside. One towards Secret as well. That's Mertz. Muddy baiting. And Mertz can open.
Ooh, they're not looking. There's nades in their hands. It's been swapped to a gun. The jump spot finds it. Ariel, he just loves a good old jump shot. Did hit the floor before that one, though. ENCE now with a man advantage once again. Looking to find double digits in the first half. Cillian's lobby push is still a factor to be aware of, but he's actually gone all the way down vents towards B to try and make up for the fact that Mertz has dropped here. Ariel's just holding it, just waiting. If Cillian walks up here, there's surely no way he wins this fight. It's a headshot angle with an AK-47. Oh, he misses the opening bout, and that's when Cillian dives back in. Great bait from Cillian, does get himself the trade into a 4-on-4. Time is running thin for ENCE, and they've got to run fast into that bomb site.
They have utility for the plant. Smoke towards left door, smoke towards the bomb site. His attack finds one on Alu, so it's 4v3, but it's going to be post-plant. The bomb is going to go down. And that shifts the advantage back over to ENCE, even though Heroic are coming in with a 4v3.
We've seen them win numerous disadvantageous positions, so do not ever count ENCE out. That's one thing we've learned right now. Crossfire again established. We have a player on ramp as well to deal with. One smoke left on Sergey. Throw that down towards the door and cut off one player on the flank. That's exactly what happens. Modi's no longer in position to do the work. He's got to rotate round. X7 waiting for the close peek from the window, and there it is, but the kills are flying in for Heroic. Collectively left alone, and he can't lead by example. It will be Heroic finding 6 rounds on the half. Decent, but definitely not what they would have wanted.
Yeah, ENCE going in and basically saying if we win these 2 first duels, we win the round, but they lose both of them. And that leaves the round out to Heroic. And a very, very one-sided affair to end this post-plan. But 96 is going to be the scoreline for that first half. ENCE still winning it out. Very important pistol coming up here. If Heroic can grab the pistol, tie up the game, they have a decent chance of taking it back. Also because Heroic are kind of 50-50 on this map, where ENCE are 55-45 stronger on the T side.
The trophy on stage.
The trophy's still missing, guys. Have you seen a DreamHack Open trophy?
Someone nicked it earlier.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what the number is for the direct lag in here, but you should call it whatever it calls. No one knows. We don't use that old technology anymore. No. Just go on to...
all about fax machines.
Go onto Twitter and Instagram, DM us if you've seen it.
Well, we've got ENCE with some smiles on their faces. They know they're only 7 rounds away from a victory and a semi-final to grand final placing. And to be honest, you know, this on paper should have been the harder game for ENCE out of this and a potential game against Bravado, right? But Heroic, they need to build up a fight on the second half. They got 6 rounds on the CT side of Nuke.
Alexi gonna go into the vent.
That's just a fake. But ramp rotate, there's 2 players down below. Alexi has got to go huge here. Alu's kicked it off. Alexi with a 5-7, spamming away. This is so good in this position, and he'll find both. Aerial moving in for another one, and just like that, it's the outside player who is throwing in utility, Asilian. Left in a 1-on-4, bomb covered by ENCE, and even a wrap from the vents as well. It's actually Secret coming through. It won't make a difference though. Asilian's got to find these players on the site before he even cares about a flank. Spotted 2, but shot none. Sergey shuts it down, and just like that, it's ENCE to 10 rounds.
One thing we have to remember as well is that ENCE had the absolute toughest way to the final. They lost to G2 in that opening game. Then they beat Optic 2-1. Very impressive win from them in that third map. Beat G2 straight up 2-0 to take the revenge. And now they're meeting Heroic in their semi-final. If they go through here, make it to the final, and of course take a big challenge against Bravado, but if they win it, they have had the toughest way possible throughout this entire event, and they still come out on top. If they take it here, though, they got to continue. They got a good chance now winning another pistol. Aerial in main. Grabs 1 frag, but instantly traded back by Merch, but then XP comes into play. MP5 in hand, and the round is over.
Swooping in. Easy, easy, easy. ENCE are going to be able to run over that one, as you would expect. Full Glocks. So, just a formality for now. 11-6. Heroic coming in with a bye. They're going to have 3 bye rounds to make this work, assuming they don't win any of them.
And the same painting is starting to come to life as we saw on Train. Close in the beginning, but then all of a sudden ENCE just starts taking off, and we saw that with those 7 rounds in a row on the T side for ENCE, and now winning the pistol also. A Ryle now. Or Aerial, if you will. In a 1v3.
2 low players. Do not count him out. Problem is, they're already down B, and he is on the wrong side of things. He's holding for that A push through squeaky door. Moddy's going to be breaking some windows and, you know, opening some doors, so he should be somewhat aware that now this is a B plant. The question is, does Aerial even go for it, right? If we look at the money, the save actually does make a lot of sense in this position. As doable as his clutch is, Alexi has 5k, Aerial has only 1,000, Alu's got 3. This is a good spot to save. You can buy up next round. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but what buy ever is.
It's going to be 4 out of 5, basically, with weaponry.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And then X7 can play pistol full utility if he wants to.
Look at S-Tag on the scoreboard, 22 and 13, top of the server, half the rounds of ENCE. Well, not quite, but still, that's a ridiculous scoreline. This man has been firing all cylinders this event.
Yeah, that is true. ENCE will concede a round, and Heroic get on 7 to the 11 of the Finnish guys. And Freiburg here, great history within the Swedish scene.
Great round.
Exactly. Comes originally from Source, actually played in a team with RDL, the coach of Existence, who are now eliminated. RDL actually, funnily enough, was regarded as one of the best Source players at the end of that game when it died and CSGO came out, but didn't really have any luck getting into Counter-Strike Global Offensive. Became a coach instead, but Freiburg, who was not regarded as a good Source player, actually not really like in that top 20 in the world for players, but in CSGO he's had so much history.
Yeah.
Within IP, of course, most of it, in his heyday, winning major championships. And now switching over to Heroic, the king of Banana, is trying to make plays.
Heroic with the early ramp control. They leave a player there and back off. Now the question is, Moddy has 2 options. He can either flank this A site from hell, or he can put pressure on B to try and draw rotations. ENCE are aware that they've given up ramp, and they are flanked all the way on Secret. Well, this doesn't look too useful for them, but if Heroic do hit that A site, they're going to have quick rotations through main. And Heroic Modi down, putting pressure. The question is how do ENCE react and adjust to this? And are they ready for the eventual A-split? And Alexa B certainly isn't. He gets decapitated. Sergey, top of heaven, drops the man with a Molotov in his hand, and he'll go down in the fire. Freiberg and S-Tag also landing shots, and just like that, the A site is open. Nice round from Heroic. That's going to be sealing the deal.
That has to be the save. S-Attack with a nice double. X7.
No gun.
No gun for you, mate.
Gave away his position. It didn't fall down the vents with the body, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's right there.
There it is, yeah.
But sometimes it can be hard to see, and sometimes there is a bug where, like...
The E button won't work.
Yeah, you gotta drop your weapon in order to pick up the weapon because the body, for some reason, is blocking the pickup mechanism if you press the button. So you gotta drop and then auto pick up instead, but it doesn't work here because the weapon is far away.
So are ENCE's chances of winning this round. Heroic's bomb ticking off from Freiberg. There it is. Ooh! What? Wow. I thought Ariel was the one who likes jumping. Not X7.
Not really sure how the physics make sense there, but then again, it doesn't really make a lot of sense in CSGO in general.
Great
That's
shot.
A nice shot from S-Attack.
Very ready for that position. Good round from S-Tag again. Of course, it has been just him really looking at the scoreboard. Freiberg second place. So a strong tournament from him as well. That's something to mention, but Heroic, they're not out of this game just yet. They put ENCE into pistols. Alu still has this AWP. That's got to go absolutely incredible into this round if they are going to have any chance of winning. Really, if you're ENCE here, you want to save that AWP again.
Yeah.
But you also want to put Alu in a position where he can try and win the round, and he certainly started it off.
Very nice. Now, they should put a couple of players onto Alu's position so they can pick up the weapon and give themselves a slightly bigger chance of winning the round. Taking ramp control right now are Heroic. They know, apart from the AWP, they have a big advantage.
Yeah, and this is
picked up by Alexa B.
Because they know this is Eco, this is a really good call from Heroic. Instead of going down ramp to B into Alu's AWP and that other gun that was picked up, they can try and wrap Heaven, but Ariel, hello? That's the bomb drop.
No,
Ariel's found 3.
With a P250 against the 4x. What is going on?
I don't even know. S-Tag, if there was ever a time to step up, it was now, but Alu shut it down with the wallbang. That is the most obscene round in this semi-final.
Triple P250 against fully bought up Ts with AKs. First one, wow.
He gets aim punched as well. He doesn't have armor.
Jesus. And then the Alu shot, are we going to get that as well? Third one is, I don't know what Muddy's doing there. And Alu just with the wall bang. That is a tough round to lose, and that's why they're taking that timeout.
Oh my god, that was Heroic's chance to get into the game, Niels. That was their chance to make this 11-9.
Yeah, exactly, because now, like, before this round ended, you had the feeling, okay, now this is where it happens. They're going to take a couple of rounds now. We're going to tie the game up, get a close game as we expected. But now ENCE is going to be on 12. Economy for Heroic is going to be challenged, not completely. They're not going to be out of it, but that's definitely a tough break.
Oh dear, oh dear. That is going to be in Heroic's nightmares.
Yeah, they have money for the buy-up, the full buy-up that is, but it's going to be a deagle eco if they lose it. And that's with ENCE hitting 13. What a round. P250 and Alu through the door. Might even have been through the hut. Didn't really see it from both
No,
angles.
it's through the hut, yeah.
Okay.
Well,
that is insane.
Yeah. Good luck recovering from that, Heroic. That's the kind of round that can lose you a game just due to mentality.
It's the exact same, like, what can you say, like, thing as that aerial clutch on the first map on Train, where he clutched that 1v3.
Yeah. And the momentum
just swings if you win a clutch round or a crazy round like that. And it's so hard to kind of reset yourself mentally as a team, and even more hard for the coach to just pick them up from that.
Well, let's see if Heroic have more gas in the tank, or if the petrol pump is all out. ENCE playing very passive. They're waiting for Heroic to do exactly what they want. They're giving them the room. We've got X7, nice off angle. This is good for maybe 1. And then he should be falling off. Does damage and just drops. Yeah, no reason to overfight that. Gets the information, gets the damage. He can even challenge again if he wants to. It's just very risky, but he gets to the bomb pre-fire. And there's the AWP moving in. Alu's here with support. They don't need to peek. They know the AWP's there. They've already spotted it. So Alu moves back. X7 drops. They got a 5-on-3. Give them ramp. That's fine, because Sergey, he's putting pressure on in the hut meanwhile.
Heroic, they need to find something special. Not only because they're running out of time, but also they're running out of time in this game.
This is 13 rounds without a doubt. Heroic know it.
And also, losing that, well, I'm not going to say terrible round from them, but it was pretty close to that. ENCE, of course, stepping up and doing huge plays, but behind every great play is a mistake made from the other team. And then straight up losing this round without even getting into ramp. These are 2 tough rounds mentally to deal with for Heroic. And this is where, like CSGO, when you bring it to the top level, yes, there's everything that goes on in the game. All the strats and all the duels and everything aim-wise, that's one thing. But the factor of just the mental fortitude of players on the top level and how they deal with it, that's from the reason, like, that's one of the reasons why Astralis back in the TSM days had so many problems. They battled that. Now they're one of the best teams in the world because of that mental fortitude. Heroic, do they have the same?
Well, if there was any time to dig deep, it is now. Someone's cut a hole in their pockets, and it's not just money dripping out. They've only got pistols in this round with an AK and an AWP saved on the other 2.
Trusting in the Tech 9s and a Cylin with the P250. Some utility still on the T side, so they have enough to take control outside and do the smoke setup, but at least one CT close by. Alu dropping a nade, an aerial.
Ooh, he's gonna get flashed.
With the AK. He's gonna get the flash timing, 1-2, only the 1. And XCB with another one onto Asilian, and Mori rotating in. Has to pick up the bomb again. Alu finds Mertz, and Alu with a double fryback goes down as well. Mori now 1v4.
He's on the B side though, there's no one here for ENCE. The question is, does he try and catch the rotates or just get that money, get that bomb plant? Goes for the latter. He's expecting a peek.
They need both.
But he will get gifted the plant. He's going to run back inside the decontamination. That nade really well timed. The double peek, but Mori almost lines him up. Really nice round from ENCE once again. I don't know how on earth Alu got that second kill, right? He double scoped and still found the flick shot to the player close, not in his vision. 14 rounds here, ENCE. They're bordering a victory on the map pick of Heroic.
And just as we saw the whole thing swing when that aerial clutch happened on Train, the same thing happens here. Let's see that secondary duel. Oh, he just scopes in and out, straight up. This is all coming on the back of that one round, 3 P250 kills, and a wall bang with the AWP. Turns the whole tide. That was when Heroic were getting back into the game. We thought this was going to be close, but then ENCE just shut the door on them. Not allowed in the sauna.
Yeah. And boy, are Heroic looking cold right now. They are going to need a ridiculous comeback, and right now it doesn't seem like ENCE want to give it to them. 14-8, 2 away from a grand final spot up against Bravado. Heroic, what have they got here? They've got 3 AKs, oh, sorry, 2 AKs, 2 UMPs and a pistol. This has been a...
This is the buy.
Yeah. All they've got. Fast play in towards events. That does allow one man to drop down. That's Mori. He's holding for the rotate. LXB takes a lot of tick damage from the Molotov. But ENCE not eager to hunt that kill because the door's broken. Oh, yes, they are. Wait, LXB runs in with his back turned, and Mori catches it holding from the behind. He's now got a gun. That's upgraded the 1 pistol player, and it's also taken down a man off ENCE.
Didn't expect him to be in the vent, but Mori's there ready and waiting. Bomb still on the back of S attack. Sergey's trying to even out the round by getting the advantage back. Gets the bomb. Caught on the rotate. Nice refrag from Mertz, securing the 4v3 and still securing that advantage. Making sure that they once again have to make a play, ENCE, to bring it back into 3v3.
But that's what it's been. That's just it's playmakers' friends that have been winning in this game. It's the 3K clutches, it's the 2v5s, and Alu, he's looking to do it as well. It's Aerial catching Freiberg outside. X7 follows up, but Aerial's dead in main. That opens up the A bomb site for a plant. The thing is, Alu's coming from above, and he can try and stop it with a Molotov. Nade as well, going to land right behind it. Asilian not getting tagged. It's Mertz slightly. And now the 2-on-2 retake. They come from a different position.
They're going to retake from the same position. This is going to be a risky one.
They're still focused on Heaven. Heroic don't know that Alu's rotated around with the AWP. They should work it out sooner rather than later, considering there's been no peek. And Alu going to start to creep his way up into the side, crawl towards the bomb.
X7 with side by side. Good angle.
And the timing's too good. That might be it. I think Heroic are back into this one. Alu's going to be caught out in the open with the AWP. No scope's not connecting. It's getting desperate here, and he's going to have to run. Ooh, awkward shot, and Asilian closes it out. 2 kills from each of those players in this 2v2.
And there's still a fight in Heroic.
It's not over till it's over.
Coach behind them, Peacemaker just almost folding his hands in praying position. 14-9. Heroic, they need all the help they can get. Money's getting kind of low on the CT side. It's not catastrophic just yet because Alu's still on 32. Modi once again into the vent. Mertz close range with the AWP. Gets the shot onto Aerial.
But there's still a close player right behind main. There's still a man up by them, but Mertz actually does find it. Mertz predicting the aggressive push from ENCE. And he's just going to back off the yard.
Yeah, he has the advantage already now. Has given it to his team with those 2 frags. Can be very satisfied with his results so far in this round. And once again, it puts ENCE in a situation where Sergey feels like he has to make a play to even it out. That's always the mentality if you're CT. In a 3v4, you have to get it to at least a 3v3, because if they're allowed to execute 4v3, your chances of winning are very, very low. So the star player always feels like he has to make a play in this situation. Modi is getting so much information. Very unlucky for X7 that he doesn't get that early on. And he's making the play, Sergey. Once again, this time he's not dying out. Grabbing 2 frags, and now it's all on Freiburg.
We're going to need a clutch from the old. Freiburg's found the first. That's Sergey being cleaned up. It's X7 on the rotate, coming back round from heaven. The Molotov missing from Freiburg. Orcs. He might be able to get the plant in anyway, but that's going to give more time for X7 to get into position. Freiburg, he needs to fake this plant if he goes on this side of the bomb site.
Can go for the plan on the opposite.
Oh no, the timing! That Molotov could have won Freiburg the round. He would have had time to get the bomb plant and take an appropriate post plant, but no, X7 comes up from the heaven and you can see the disappointment on Freiburg's face.
That is so unfortunate.
One misnade.
And it's so strange, right? All these things happen in the round, and it comes down to Freiburg missing a Molotov. If he lands that Molotov, he gets a bomb plant. 1v1 post plant. He has 2 flashes and a smoke he can play around. And usually we always say unlucky when you lose a round, but most of the time it's not down to luck. But this one was unfortunate for Freiburg, and it could be the beginning of the end. Alu to the smoke. And 3v4.
Likes to be down on lower as well. Molotov going to try and push him back. There's 2 players here for the CT side, and X7 just shot one through the smoke like it's nothing. Only S-Tag and Modi left standing, and the B site's been covered by ENCE. There's even a man ready to rotate down the vents. That's Sergey. They are trapped in, boxed in, and they're not even aware of it just yet. They've only seen one of these players down on the B site, and they don't know which side they're in. Sergey
has been playing a sick game so far, Sergey.
Yeah. Heroic just made the best call of their life, and they have no idea. They just walked back out with the bomb. The problem is, S-Tag's committing. That peek could easily allow for one player to come in from the vents. Sergey needs to make sure he's aware of this main wrap. S-Tag walking back up, and he's all the stand between ENCE and a grand final spot here. They'll pick it up 16-9. A victory for them, 2-0, taking both theirs and their opponent map pick, and it looked very, very easy for ENCE.
What a turn of events. Someone get Freiburg a hog right now. That's a tough one.
Yeah, and wow, what a performance from ENCE as well. I mean, those weren't close games. Those are pretty dominant scorelines if you look at it.
And that's the thing, right? Like ENCE, they have the structure. That's one of the advantages against Heroic. Heroic, they need everyone to step up and deliver their A game. In this scenario, it doesn't actually really happen for them. S-Attack had a really clutch game. Very nicely done for him. Heroic, just inches away from the level they want to be at. And you know, like, they can get there. They've shown the potential. They did in Bangkok as well, and showed that they're very close to their A level, their A game, where they want to be, but they're just not there yet. ENCE, though, they're there, they're here, and they're ready to play.
And they're going to be in the grand final up against Bravado later on today. What a story from ENCE, really. It's those 2 momentum rounds on either map, the clutch from Aerial, and then the P250 round up on Nuke, that just turn around the pace.
Going to be the key rounds, and I'm sure the analysts will have plenty of stuff to say specifically about those 2 rounds, but we're going to throw it over to them.
Thank you so much, Risk. It's been a pleasure having you guys, and we'll see you next time around. Okay, so let's move forward, because I told y'all it was going to be easy for ENCE, and, well, whether it was easy for them or not, that's up for interpretation that perhaps my analyst here can give, and that's going to be Pimp and Blake. In case you're just joining us, welcome to the analyst desk. Guys, wow. ENCE coming out in dominant fashion.
They were manhandling Heroic, I would say. I think this was a great display by ENCE. I think they were having a rather easy time. Obviously, winning against Heroic is never going to be easy, especially not when they're playing up to the level they have so far in the tournament. But this game was just all about ENCE.
Absolutely. Sergey, 50 plus kills in 2 maps.
Decent.
He was not